we're good to go.
No, wait.
Yeah, sure.
I brought a water troll.
Yeah, I brought 2 in just now. So I'm
I brought my water in here.
Well, there's a water right there.
So that's mine there.
This was probably mine, I'll be honest.
Is this one?
This
Sean?
is probably
This
mine,
one?
yeah.
You're sitting here.
We've talked about 0 Dota related things yet in this episode.
All right.
All right, we're back for round 2. It took 2.5 hours to do 3 letters.
Yes.
We're here to do more letters.
More letters. And we're starting with a banger.
Well, if you don't know what this is, though, we are rating every ability in ability draft like you would on a normal tier list, like S tier to, what's the worst tier? D?
Griefing.
Griefing for us. You know, there's not, it's not a perfect S to F, but we've got pretty good columns here. Who knows? We might be biting ourselves because 2 to 4 is going to fill up so much. But, we've distinguished between them where the top and bottom is anyways. So you could just break it down more if you want. I think we're doing the Lord's work, really.
Yeah.
So, starting with D.
D is Dark Ascension. It's Night Stalker's ultimate ability. Now this is an interesting one. You get free pathing, you get bonus damage, and it turns nighttime.
Yeah.
I think the thing that you really like about this spell is usually just free pathing more than anything.
Yeah, it's mainly the free
bonus
pathing.
damage is quite high, but at level 1 it's not like crazy, right?
It's usually a last pick ult.
Yeah, it's not really that good anymore. That doesn't refresh your basic abilities.
Yeah,
like
you can play with Tomb and like cheese it a bit. Now it doesn't. It's really good with Hunter in the Night. Obviously, it's pretty bad if Hunter in the Night is on the enemy team, as Joel's pointed out in a previous conversation today. You will turn on the person who has Hunter in the Night when you use Dark Ascension.
So definitely bad picking it as like a support if there's not much health and you're like, oh, I'll get free pathing out of it. No.
Yeah.
You're going to enable their gyro to hit even harder or whatever.
Mm-hmm. And also the bonus vision is kind of cracked. That's
vision
a thing
is
that
quite good.
People don't really understand with Dark Ascension is like the vision you get is basically imbalanced as fuck in like nighttime team fights because you will be seeing the entire fight.
No matter what.
Yeah, they can't really see you.
Yeah. Does get countered by egg. Egg does turn to day.
That's true.
That's a
interesting
interaction.
I think it's absolutely not the good as alt, especially being an alt.
I think it's like in the middle of 2 to 4-ish. I don't know.
I think it's way lower.
Reasonable.
Really? Yeah, I don't think it's.
I think it goes unpicked some games unless you have Hunter. The only person that picks it is who has Hunter in the Night. Or
I think
maybe
it's barely
if you have
worse
it on
than
your
Arena.
Team.
Really?
What? Really? I would say it's way worse. I would say it's like
worse
cold feet, bushwhack level. But after playing the game with cold feet,
I guess there's some drawbacks.
Feels pretty good. Cold feet.
I mean, it's situationally, like, when are you
I guess
ever
you do need
first,
Hunter in the
second, or
Night.
third picking this, really? Unless you have Hunter in the Night.
So I'm fine with situationally reasonable then up towards the top.
Yeah. I think it's still like...
Third?
Yeah, I was going to say like around here probably.
Like, look what other alts we have in situationally reasonable.
Yeah, like I think Ball Lightning is worse.
Yeah.
I'd agree with that.
Yeah.
Because it doesn't give you bonus damage or anything.
Yeah.
Alright, next up we have Dark Pact. This is another, what would be like a techie kind of pick for the most
Sometimes
part?
goes hard on certain builds where it's like, you need to take this from them or we're never killing them.
Yeah.
And they have a 6-second Dark Pact.
Just cool down,
If you have like some low stun lobbies, it's like pretty insane because you just get to purge everything.
The self damage is kind of shitty, but like if you have a way to sustain and be able to use it all the time to farm, it's not bad.
Mm-hmm.
But you're mainly just looking for that dispel.
Yeah.
What do you get from it?
I think also a lot of people underrate this ability generally. Sean and I earlier were talking about like underrated abilities that we were going to make a video on, and Dark Pact was on the list because sometimes you can just be invulnerable. Like there was a game recently where I think you had like Blink in Dark Pact. You cannot die if you Blink in Dark Pact.
Yeah. Exactly. It's impossible to get the stuns on you.
It's not like first pickable by any means.
Pick, it's a good complement to a core build where you want to be a little bit more evasive.
Mm-hmm. Probably better on a strength hero that can like routinely proc it or click it without really caring as well. I think it's in generally picks 2 to 4, but
I think it's in there
lower
probably
middle.
Yeah, I like it similar to like
Like, it's similar to a Photic Shield in that it dispels.
Yeah,
But it's only for yourself.
So it's probably a little bit worse in that case. But it's, is it
I put
picked
it near
worse than
battery
these?
assault more.
Oh, I put it, like, somewhere around here, maybe.
Even lower.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like, Arena is your... Do you want Arena or do you want Dark Pact? I want Arena.
I guess, yeah. If you want to put that benchmark in there, yeah.
But Arena isn't all, so you do weigh it a little.
I like Dark Pact in between Chakram, or right behind Chakram, actually.
Yeah.
Sounds good.
Like there.
I like that.
All right. Next up is Deadshot.
Really
This
hard
is-
spell.
yeah.
This is a bad spell.
I played with it recently, and it wasn't too bad, but I was on a Muerta, and the talents really are needed.
Yeah, you need that cast range talent at 10 for the cast range is like what, 350. So
Yeah.
that really changes the ability a lot.
Yeah. I don't know. I think the reason I picked it is because there were no other things that canceled teleports, so it was like last pick, Deadshot.
Yeah.
You're not really going to take it early ever, I don't think.
No.
It's so niche.
This is really down there, like down near Bushwhack for me.
Yeah, I agree.
It's so
I think it's at the bottom
situational.
of picks 2 to 4, but
Like barely.
we've seen it go unpicked a lot of times.
It could
It has
honestly be
been.
situational.
Yeah, all right.
It could be like the top of situational because it is technically like a stun, the Ricochet Fear. And that is actually like pretty good. But like, first of all, skill shot. Second of all, not an easy skill shot.
Vector targeted skill shot.
Vector targeted skill shot. The bullet's traveling absolutely at miles per hour. That thing's moving.
Yeah.
So I would definitely put it like near the top of situationally reasonable.
I think it's
like after the passage.
just barely above Curse Crown, even.
Yeah. Like,
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
If you're on a Muerta, it's obviously you probably pick it last pick, but any other
If you're
hero's
not on
really.
Muerta, yeah.
Next up is Deafening Blast.
Yeah. Very interesting because some games we've played where they have like 3-4 cores on the team that are just going right click. A Deafening Blast, huge disarm.
It is a long
whatever.
disarm.
Obviously, it's different in AD than what we're looking at here. I forget what the actual differences are, but it's still a long ass disarm.
It's still a 6.5 second disarm.
Yeah.
It is 250 mana.
Yeah. And
Oh,
if
yeah.
it- long cooldown,
Long cooldown.
36.
It's an ultimate
Yeah.
almost. Yeah.
Notably, the disarm cannot be dispelled, which is like
is a big-
pretty rare.
Yeah.
And
It's a high impact spell.
Yeah, a little bit of pushback. Obviously, on an Invoker, the Radial at 25
That
is
is
like
insane.
so insane in some team fights, but
yeah.
that's not how you really could rate the ability.
No, I feel like Deafening Blast is usually pretty unpicked. It's like near Chaos Meteor for me, where like
Yeah.
It is like a Chaos Meteor, just
Yeah.
instead of more damage, it's just disarm. So it's more, support than trying to get some like big damage.
yeah. If you miss Deafening Blast, you're like,
Oh, it
this
feels
fight
bad.
is fucking
Feels
thrown.
bad,
Yeah, it's terrible.
It's like missing a meteor. Like
It
the
is,
same thing,
yeah.
literally.
So
It's
I
the
think
same
they
thing.
should be pretty close to each other.
Yeah.
What do you think's better, Meteor or Deafening Blast? I think Meteor's better.
I think Meteor's
Yeah, I
slightly
think
better,
Meteor would
just
be
for the
slightly
damage.
better just because it's damage.
It honestly might be a tier below.
I wouldn't hate it in a tier below, honestly.
Yeah. Kind of near where we are, I think, because
It usually gets picked though.
but sometimes it's like you don't even have mana to support actually picking this
So it
ability.
doesn't even get
It
used.
does cost too much.
Like, I think it's like middle of situational. If you're on like a really high ass int hero,
Mhm.
it could be pretty good. But yeah, next up is Death Pact.
This is I don't like this spell.
Oh, our teammates first pick it sometimes.
Yeah, a lot of people take this spell for some reason.
Yeah.
Well, they think it's a minus. They think, hey, I just start the game with a minus.
Yeah.
It's weirdly techy, like I think Klink's teleports with it. Like that's a weird little thing that happens.
Yeah.
I think it's like engulfing step. Oh, it's
The
a facet.
facet,
Yeah. There, yeah. That thing's okay.
It's nothing crazy though. It's like probably situational. It's like one of your I don't even like it in 2 to 4.
No, I don't think so either. We've kind of got a bunch of stinkers in a row here, eh?
Yeah, these are some bad spells.
I think having the bonus health is actually good on some models. Like if you are on a hero that really, really, really needs health and you're trying to carry, Death Pact can get you through a laning stage.
Yeah.
It can help. It can definitely help.
it's just normally not worth actually
Equalize
picking
waves.
a spell
Normally, it's
slot.
not worth for an entire
Yeah.
spell slot. It does nothing late game, pretty much.
Yeah.
400 health. It's probably not
I
going to
feel
be a
like
difference
people are going
maker.
to rate this so much higher than we are.
I don't know. Sean is the resident carry player. If anyone were gonna like it, it would be him.
Yeah.
He doesn't.
I
like
still
it.
never pick it up.
Where do you put it in the tier list?
Is it under 2 to 4?
It
Because it always gets picked, though. It's never not picked.
I've seen it go unpicked.
Really?
I think it's overrated. I think it's a terrible spell. Usually there's better stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So do you think it's in
Situational
unpicked or actively bad unless pairing? Or is it at the bottom of situationally reasonable?
I think it's down low near Call the Wild Hawk.
Alright. Bing. We're actually kind of fleshing out the shit tier.
Yeah, I like we're being a little more
Yeah.
strict with the rating.
Next up we have Death Pulse. This
Pretty
is
good.
Yeah.
It's
Not
pretty
bad.
good. You can sustain yourself on a 5-second cooldown, Death Pulse max, and like with some abilities.
Does cost a lot of mana. 160 at max.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You do need a lot
On
of
a
mana.
Necro a lot better. The guy
Yeah,
played
with
recently
Sadist.
had it, and it was good.
It's also a decent shard, I think, like the Death Seeker.
Death Seeker, yeah.
You can teleport, which is kind of cool. I mean, it's techie as fuck, but like at least it has the upside of having a shard upgrade.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's usually picked, but I've seen it go unpicked as well because if there's no int heroes, no one really wants it.
Yeah. It's not a super high impact spell overall.
It's pretty good in lane though. It like definitely helps sustain.
Yeah, it's a laning spell.
Yeah.
And then after that, it's just kind of whatever.
The damage really falls off,
Yeah.
which
130 heals at max is like nothing.
yeah.
So
I feel like it's probably not in generally picks 2 to 4 for me, but like pretty high and situationally reasonable.
I like it pretty high and situationally reasonable.
Really?
Joel,
I
what
feel
do you
like
think?
I feel like it's in 2 to 4, just like very low.
Yeah? I don't know. I feel like something like Arcane Curse makes this ability look not as good.
Yeah.
And like Arcane Curse is pretty
I like
low.
it somewhere near the Bristleback counterspell.
Yeah,
Okay, I'm happy to put
Behind
it
them,
there.
maybe.
I think so as well.
It's not that good of an ability, that's for sure.
No.
I like it down in that tier.
Yeah.
But the next ability is.
Next up is Death Ward. Joel, this is probably one of your favorite abilities?
It's fun. I haven't liked it recently since they just like turned it a bunch and changed it a bunch, and then also I really only want to play it on a Witch Doctor because of the
It's got some talents, I think.
Cliff Death.
Yeah.
Because that with Ags is like insane. Because then there's shooting. It's shooting how many? 2 targets at once. And then those 2 targets are bouncing. So with Ags, it's literally bouncing 4 times, and then also it's like insane.
Yeah, it
With
goes
Ags.
off.
But
The shard's really good on it too, eh? The
Shard is-
voodoo
you almost
switcheroo.
go shard first item when you get Death Ward.
Yeah.
You get like mana boost, voodoo, switcheroo.
Yeah.
Like it's just that good.
It's weirdly it combos with penitence.
Yes.
That is like
Yeah.
a strange interaction, but because penitence works on buildings and structures, including wards, voodoo switcheroo, Death Ward will shred someone full to 0.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Or paired
Changed
with like
it
a
to
Vengeance
pure.
Zora.
Yeah.
We've lost to that before.
we have, the pure damage is relevant. It is interesting how they've changed it so many times, though. It's like
The damage
kind of
changed.
fallen off a bit,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
I think it's still generally first or second picked in most of the games that we play recently, even still with the
100%.
changes. So
100%.
Yeah.
I would say it's in generally picks 1 to 2, but kind of lower. Like I think Golem you want way more than a Death Ward.
Yeah.
I feel like it gets picked pretty
It's close.
commonly.
Golem.
Yeah, like it's the good beginning of an Ags upgrade. It's a good shard.
I'd say it's really close to Golem.
Okay, you think it's better than like Chaos Bolt?
Not
It's
quite.
So hard.
I don't think.
Probably not.
Maybe around like Corrosive Skin.
Yeah,
Acorn?
I like it. I like it above Acorn.
Okay.
I like it just above
Yeah,
Acorn.
I'm happy
actually.
with that. It's a good ability.
Mm-hmm.
Gets snipped up really quick.
It's still good. It's just like it used to be. You first picked this the moment you saw it because it was just overtuned, and they made it actually balanced.
Yeah.
Next up is one of Sean's favorite abilities. It's Decay.
Yeah. You can really go hard with this spell in lane, especially
Oh,
if you're
yeah.
against some strength heroes.
This is like you can first pick this and feel pretty good if you're against 5 strength heroes.
Yeah, exactly. You can really, and if you get the eggs, it's not like insane, but it used to be better. It does scale though decent with eggs. If you're already getting another eggs upgrade, it's a good ability to have.
Yeah. It's also notably like pretty insane on and undying.
Yeah, on and dying especially, it's really nuts.
You basically get like, I think it's like a cooldown talent or something. Joel, can you check the talents? Yeah, decay cooldown at 22 seconds. You half it from 4 seconds to 2 seconds.
Yeah, you can really go off with that.
Crazy. In some lobbies, it's just okay. Like against ranged agility cores or against ranged heroes in general, you probably don't really want to pick it that highly. But it generally goes pretty early. So
I feel like it's at the very top of 2 to 4.
Really?
I was kind of comparing it with those abilities because it really didn't meet the criteria of the abilities above. Abilities above were just
I don't think
picked
it's
way
1 to
sooner.
2 worthy.
So I think it's in line with that. Now, is it better?
I think it's better than Counter Helix almost. In 1 to 2, I feel like Counter Helix is.
I think it's here somewhere. Is it better than like a Riki ult? Like in some scenarios, no. Riki ult's just so good, like all the time. But like Decay, you know, does it match up with some of these, or is it more like over here? That's what I'm trying to think.
Joel's pointing at the screen again. But,
I think it has to be above the Riki Ultimate.
I think it should be above Riki Ultimate. I do agree that it's better than Counter Helix in some games, but Counter Helix is like more generally applicable.
Yeah, I guess.
Than Decay. Because like, I don't know. You get Decay against double ranged lane and you're just screwed. I think it's somewhere around here. I think Joel's right. I think Eighth Remnant's better though.
Yeah, maybe right behind Eighth Remnant.
Yeah. Happy to throw it there. Lich Ult's pretty good.
Yeah, Lich Ult is pretty good too.
But
But
Decay is good.
Decay
Decay is good.
you know, secures the lane. So
It is. It's a super strong lane spell.
next up is Decrep. This is just techie, right? Like,
Yeah.
we saw a guy recently. He went remote mines or proximity mines Decrep.
Yeah, that's a good combo.
That is a little tech combo.
60% movement slow is kind of crazy.
It is.
But
the self cache is good too.
yeah, most of the time you're not really taking advantage of the heal amplification.
Never have I seen a Pugna really do that much.
But can be a good counter to right click cores that are just they have no spells.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It's more of an escape ability most of the time, or like just a disarm on an enemy carry.
Yeah.
Um,
The cooldown and uptime is pretty insane though. It's like 3.5 duration, 7 seconds at max level, so you can cast it like 3 or 4 times in a fight sometimes and it goes
spammable.
crazy.
Yeah.
It's definitely not in picks 2 to 4 for me. I think it's got to be in situationally reasonable.
Yeah. You cannot make this ability work on a lot of heroes. Like you have to be on support.
Yeah.
Or some weird nuking mid lane build.
Yeah, it deals no damage by itself.
Yeah. It needs to be comboed with something.
It's just like a Ghost Scepter in my eyes, but with a little bit better upside.
Yeah.
The movement slow on enemies, and you can use it on them. And
I think it's like kind of near like maybe the middle of situationally reasonable, because I think when it's good, it's like, ooh, this is real overpowered.
It can be annoying to deal with sometimes.
I think maybe like around adaptive strength, like there.
Yeah. I don't want it any higher than that. I think that's probably
a
good spot.
Next up is defense matrix. This is pretty bad.
Pretty bad, yeah.
Unless you have rearm, it's really, really bad too, because it's a 20-second cooldown.
Mm-hmm. 15-second duration though, 5-second.
Yeah, but only 320 barriers, so like if it gets
once
popped,
that barrier's gone,
Yeah, the status resist is pretty irrelevant most of the time, I find. The barrier is good though for like getting out of sticky situations, and like before when you could actually still blink when the barrier was on you, it was way better obviously, yeah. I think this is closer to actively bad unless pairing.
If you have the all damage barrier, you can still blink.
Oh, is that true?
Yeah. As long as it doesn't get through it.
I thought they changed that, but maybe not.
That's a good thing to test. We can test that.
I think they yeah.
Oh yeah, it does.
So it does work. So
Okay, yeah. So that's actually decent.
Yeah.
Like, it's definitely not an amazing spell still.
No.
But
It's pretty low impact.
It's
Probably like. Is it in the situationally reasonable category? Probably.
Probably. Lower.
How low is it in that category? Though?
Low.
It's worse than Decrep.
Worse than Deafening Blast. I'd rather have a
Definitely.
Deafening Blast on my team for the hope of a late game Deafening Blast.
Is it better than a Death Pact, Sean?
No, I think it's behind Death Pact.
So it's either low,
Actually,
or inactively bad unless pairing. It might be inactively bad unless
it's
pairing.
close. It's really close, actually.
I think it's like there.
I don't
Yeah.
know, because it's probably not...
Honestly, it's probably.
Is it worse than Call the Wild Hawk?
Probably. Call the Wild Hawk at least roots them. This is just like...
But it does give a barrier.
It's
Yeah.
so small and like
It is.
20-second cooldown. It's such a bad spell.
I think it's...
I think it's
yeah.
like, yeah,
I'll live with that.
almost below.
I'm
Yeah,
fine
I like it
with
way
that.
down there.
Next up is Deluge. This is a weird one because Naga either brings Riptide into the lobby or Deluge.
Yeah.
And Deluge is really... It's the facet, Joel. Deluge is basically just like a movement speed cap.
Yeah.
Status just reduction is really irrelevant
Damage
most
is
of the
crazy.
time.
If you combo this spell with like juxtapose,
Oh,
it's really crazy.
Yeah.
Other
Anything
than that,
that's like illusion based.
yeah, it's just illusion based only, pretty much. You don't ever want to get this on a non-illusion hero. It's gonna do pretty much nothing.
It is techie against things like Wind Run and Surge and stuff that would normally set you to haste rune. This makes it so you can't.
Yeah.
So if there are certain, like Wind Run always goes early. If you see like they pick two abilities that are both kind of like that, or like Thirst or something,
Yeah, it's a nice counter pick to that.
it can be kind of a countery techie pick. But usually it's pretty bad.
Most of the time, like
Most of the time. Like
Yeah.
almost always.
Like it's pretty close to being an unpicked / actively bad unless pairing.
But
It's
I
very
think it's
close,
like it's
yeah.
like comparable.
I
to
think it
like
actually
a
is in
weapon
that
poison
category.
almost.
I think it's in the
I agree. I think it's in here.
yeah,
I think it's like
just above
It
here.
rarely gets
Yeah.
drafted. I'd say.
Next up, this is kind of a banger. It's
Demonic
Demonic
Purge.
Purge. Yeah.
Super good spell.
Yeah.
This is like
Eggs is crazy.
fuck this carry in particular. Gah.
Yeah. 6-second duration. Goes through BKB. Agnum Scepter is crazy.
Shard's good.
The Shard's good. It's just a lot of good things with this spell can happen if you use it properly.
Yeah. The counter to any carry is you click Demonic Purge on them.
Yeah.
And that can really do a lot in a fight. It was so insane when it used to be 3 charges with Ags.
Yeah, now it's just a 2.
Now it's just 2 and it's still
Three
good.
would just you walk up and you just 1, 2, 3 and just they blow up.
Yeah.
Yeah, they are.
It's really annoying. I personally, this is one of my least favorite abilities to play against in Dota, I think.
It is really annoying. It's got to be in the picks 1 to 2, I'd say.
I would say it's, either bottom of that or high 2 to 4.
We
Because
could
the
maybe-
60-second cooldown at all levels is you turn 6, you're using this off cooldown, hopefully, in a game. High tempo.
Yeah.
But yeah, it is lower. If we're doing it 1 to 2, I would do it the very like Berserker's Blood level, or very
Yeah.
high of 2 to 4.
Sean, what do you think?
I like it. I like it in the 1 to 2 category,
Alright.
towards the bottom.
Do you agree that it's here, or do you think it should be over the passives, the bot passives?
I actually kind of like it over the passives.
What about Acorn Shot? We still going?
I think it has to keep going, yeah.
Is it better than Death Ward? This is a good comparison point.
This is a really close one.
Joel, what do you think? As someone who's
I
a
don't
Death
think
Ward
so.
stan.
I think it's
That
a good
ceiling
ability. I think
conversation again, where the Death Ward can do a lot more, and the Demonic Purge is basically just a single target.
That's true.
Fuck that hero in
The
particular.
floor is better.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
We'll
like
put it there then.
I like it behind Death Ward.
Alright. Next up, this is just a bad ability. It is Demonic Conversion.
Quite
This is
terrible.
just like basically always unpicked.
Yeah.
Demonic Summoning.
Oh, Demonic Summoning? Did I not say that?
Conversion. You said
Oh, I
demonic
said conversion. That's the old
The old-
Enigma.
Yeah.
It costs health to make shitty little guys that feed your enemy team more gold.
Yeah.
That's really about it. Some people go, I'm gonna go and I'm gonna split push. Okay, let's see how good this is.
Yeah.
And then they proceed to grief their team.
Yeah.
So
It's really, really terrible.
I think it's actively bad unless pairing almost basically in the griefing category. It might be in griefing category with Boulder Smash.
I actually don't hate it down there in the griefing category.
Joel?
I think
you
it's
agree?
griefing if you get it. Yeah.
Okay.
Like no one picks this ability.
I like throwing that down
any
there.
teammate we've ever had picks that ability, including Bennett, we're like, what the fuck is happening?
Is it better or worse than Boulder Smash? It's gotta be worse, right?
It's gotta be worse.
Yeah.
guess, yeah.
It's gotta be worse.
Yeah.
I hate to say it, but yeah.
Wow,
I
it's the
think so.
worst ability.
It's the
we've
worst
crafted
one
so
we've
far.
got so
It is.
far, yeah.
Wow.
Next up is what's this ability
Desolate.
called? Desolate. Yeah.
Yep.
This is techie. I played a
Pretty
game with it
fucking
recently.
good. I like
Yeah.
it. I like it a lot. I think it can really.
Juxtapose some shit.
Yes, on illusions,
Illusions.
you can just absolutely shred people.
On a ranged hero, it's even better because, pardon me, the projectile hits them as they're running away from people, so then they're less likely to be around units.
Yep.
It's actually decent with farming, I've noticed. You like kill the small creeps first, and then you kill the big creep pretty fast.
Yep.
It basically turns you into a late game hero if you get to the late game because you are dealing bonus pure damage every time you attack someone.
Goes through debuff immunity.
Yeah.
The facet is kind of nice
60%.
on Spectre.
Yeah.
Nothing crazy, but it's just there.
It is
You can get people late.
pretty bad compared to most other passives, though.
Yeah, you have to pair it with some illusions.
Oh, it's
Yeah.
not. Yeah, it's not the best. It's not a good right-clicking passive by any
It's
means.
like,
it's
is
like
it-
a pairing.
Yeah.
Near Blade Dance, then are we putting it down in 2 to 4?
It's
I
definitely
think it's
a 2 to 4.
situationally.
Really?
probably.
Yeah.
I think it gets
I guess you
picked
do-
every game though. People are mental about it.
Yeah, but I think they're overrating it somewhat because like it's basically a wasted ability unless you're doing it with some other thing. Like when I played with it recently, I had Haunt, Shadow Step, and I was on a ranged core, so it made sense. But I've seen people pick it on a melee hero that's like, you basically got zero value from
Is
this
it blood?
ability.
Is it better than Blur, or do we just have Blur way too high ranked in this then?
It's better than Blur.
It's better than Blur.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So then it is in
Blur
the high
is
2 to
probably
4.
too high, honestly.
But then, like, is it better than Alacrity? Probably not. Ancient Seal, like Bushwhack. Is it better than those? Because that's the
I
bottom
mean,
2 to 4.
It's probably better than
It gets
Ancient
picked.
Seal and Bushwhack. Yeah.
You pair this with Mirror Image or Juxtapose or
I
like
think we-
Phantasm, you can evaporate a hero off the map
Yeah.
instantly.
Even in lane, when you get 4 points in it and someone starts running away from a creep wave and you hit them, it's like, oh.
Yeah.
Pure.
Oh, wow.
They're
70.
dying.
Yeah.
I think we put it beside Conjure Image to pair them together almost.
Like, it's close to Blade Dance, I agree.
yeah, it's like a Blade Dance
I
style.
think maybe
type
just
of-
behind Blade Dance, I guess.
Conjure Image is probably worse. Maybe. I don't know. Conjure Image is
They're
probably
both kind
better.
of farming.
We'll do that.
Yeah, I like that.
Next up is Devour. This is an ability that also has fallen off since we first started playing this. Devour used to be first picked every game,
Yep.
constantly, because it was just like insane bonus GPM. Notably, when you play against G2OP, the one sweatiest player on their team
Always
always
takes
first picked Devour.
Yep.
It was his most picked ability. It's pretty good still. It's just
Yeah, it's not bad.
It's not what it used to be. It doesn't give you bonus health regen or bonus armor or whatever it used to be. I don't know.
It's got the gluttony facet on Doom, which is whatever.
Yeah, the abilities you get, how relevant is that for you, Sean?
In AD, it's not as relevant. I feel like, because doesn't it doesn't give
only
you the,
works with
it only works
passives.
with passives, so
Yeah.
it makes it a lot worse that way.
You get like the Alpha Death Claw or whatever the fuck it
Yeah,
is,
that
though,
creep.
and then it gives you
yeah,
30% bonus damage.
yeah. I'd say it's a pretty greedy spell to pick up.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but it's picked
Every
very
game,
commonly
every game.
in like the first 2 rounds. Someone might pick something before it, but then it's like, oh yeah, pick up Devour after.
Yeah.
I think
It
we
probably
have
is
to
overrated, though, right?
Yeah,
it's
probably.
pretty overrated. I think
On
we,
a Doom
we
with
might
Gluttony,
still
though?
have to put it in 1 to 2 though. Do we?
Oh, 100%.
Yeah, I think at the
100%.
low of 1 to 2.
Really low in 1 to 2.
Mhm.
We won't rate it high, but other people will.
Is it better than like the corrosive skin, freaking Berserker's Blood, counter helix stuff? Like, is it above that?
I actually don't think so.
No.
All right.
So
We'll
I
put it
think-
at the very bottom.
I like it at the very bottom. It just barely makes the cut.
Is it better than Astrosphere?
I don't like it, but it's,
I would
I really
would
don't
pick
like
Riki
that.
alt over it.
Yeah, but you don't play with Devour ever,
Yeah.
really. Yeah.
Is it
I like
better than
Astral
it?
Spirit a lot, but I think it has to be above it.
Okay.
I respect
Unfortunately.
All right. Next up is Diabolic Edict. This is another pure damage ability. This is another pretty techie kind of pick. When it hits buildings and you're like actually
feel really
pushing,
good.
it can feel pretty overpowered. Or if you have like kind of the battery assault thing where you're like running at one target and all the explosions are just tunneling the shit out of someone.
Yeah,
It's decent. But it goes unpicked quite a bit.
it does.
A lot of people probably underrate this ability, but I think it's usually in the last pick, third pick range.
Yeah, it's got to be in the 2 to 4 category.
Yeah.
It does
I'd say.
1,360 pure damage at max if every explosion hit one person,
Which is insane.
which is a lot of pure damage.
Yeah.
So if you're going on one guy, that's easily like 80% of his health,
Yeah.
even late game, just munching pure damage.
Yeah. It's good on a Leshrac especially. You
Especially.
get better talents. It's like more explosions or something.
At 25.
Yeah. You also get the facet, which is decent. But most of the time, you actually just want to hit buildings with it.
Yeah, it's more. I like it more for killing buildings. If you're playing like a faster tempo game and you want to really upgrade your pushing power,
Yeah.
I like it.
You can like kind of cheese tier 2 out of
If
nowhere.
the
with a
enemy team's
Diabolic
like
Edict.
playing super greedy and you want to push, this spell alone can really unlock your team's pushing.
Yeah. I think it's middle to low picks 2 to 4.
I think it's kind of like a Crypt Swarm Blink type of value. Where's Battery Assault? No, higher, a lot
Battery
higher.
assault's there.
Maybe I would put it like
Battery assault's better for sure. It's got
yeah. So I'm thinking around Crypt Swarm. That's where I was thinking.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like it there. I don't. It's not insane, but it's a solid spell.
Yeah, it just kind of rounds out the build more than anything. All right, next up is Dismember. This one has some tricky little stupid rod combos with the shard, and
Yep,
that's what I think about with Dismember. It is also just a stun that goes through BKB,
It is.
that's true.
and it heals you. It's really good on a pudge.
Yeah, it
Good
is
with
really
hook.
Yeah.
Good. Yeah,
Hook
paired
would
with
be good.
hook. I
It's,
mean, it's kind of a meme spell though most of the time.
yeah, it's low cooldown, and if you can just blink Dismember someone, they'll usually die.
Yeah,
It's
it is good that way.
Yeah, like I remember a specific game that I played with Dismember where I had like BKB, Dismember, and a Refresher Orb. And you can just like blink in and disable someone for like 5 seconds straight through BKB, which is good.
It is a long time.
But I mean, it goes pretty early in most
It
drafts.
really, yeah,
actually.
it does.
Yeah.
Yeah.
People love to pair it with someone building a Radiance or having Rot for
Voodoo
like some
Restoration.
weird, the Voodoo Restoration, and then they say eat them and
Yeah.
think it's crazy.
It's really annoying when that happens. Like the guy who has Bulwark, whatever, and
Yeah.
just like,
Just gets eaten by a guy.
yeah.
Then he has Bulwark, Rot, Radiance,
And he's just ticking everyone
yeah,
around
and
him.
he's on a Strength core
Yeah.
that just has like Blink.
So, I mean, keeping that, like, that ceiling in mind, I think it's generally in the picks 1 to 2, which is weird.
It
in a
is.
way.
Yeah, it is kind of weird.
Like, this goes earlier than I would pick it most games, I think. But, Joel, you've been.
Does it deserve it?
Yeah.
Is it worth it? It is a good stun. It does heal you,
which is usually
which does actually help a lot, especially in fights. You just walk up to a creep after the fight and just heal the full.
Yeah.
Ulting a creep.
You do also, I hear this from you, Joel, when you play with this. This range is so fucking dog shit, and you're trying
It
to be
is.
like,
200.
you're like, I'm trying to dismember them, and I cannot get it off on them, and
if
then
there's
they
like
get
a
away.
creep wave between you, you're never getting to them. You
Yeah.
need like Aether Lens.
So,
and-
like, in terms of what tier, though, do you think it is deservingly in 1 to 2, or is it high 2 to
it
4?
probably is in 1 to 2, but at like the very end. But like,
yeah, I think it's really low in 1 to 2 because it can be hard to get this spell off.
it's a decent stun, but it is an alt,
It's good on paper, but it's just hard to get it off.
and it has a bunch of combos with it too. Though.
Yeah,
So
that's
I think
true.
it's like near the end.
Like around Devour. I think it's better than Devour, probably.
I like it above Devour.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I like it there.
Next up, this is actually a
What is it?
surprisingly high-ass win rate ability. It's Dispersion. This is just like flat damage reduction and reflection, which is pretty impressive,
It is.
but most of the time it looks pretty crappy. I don't know.
It is kind of a do nothing
Yeah.
type spell that you're gonna.
It's
Like it-
third highest win rate, Joel is showing us, but I feel like that is a deceptive statistic.
58.3%.
Yeah.
Look at this pick.
The
Wow.
average pick number.
Dispersion. It's good on a tank, especially on a strength hero. When you get it on a hero that has, a lot more strength gain than a Spectre that has like 4.
Yeah, like
You're
a centaur or
You're
something.
laughing, and then you get dispersion return or something. He's running around like a robot.
Yeah, but that's the key thing, right? Is like you will be usually a robot running around with Dispersion. You get break, you get whatever. There's counters, trained.
Yeah.
Like the fact that it's third highest, I'm always kind of surprised by. 'cause
If you get
Yeah.
behind, if you get behind the dispersion, it's just gonna do nothing for you
Yeah,
at a certain point. It's
there's
just
a
not
lot
gonna
of
be
things
enough.
that counter it.
Yeah.
So it's definitely in first pick or deny pick, which is weird.
But the very end.
But I think at the bottom.
But it's probably above the blinks,
You think, huh?
just based on win rate and like the ability itself. But only
I
on
would rather
certain
take
heroes.
blinks.
Yeah.
I like Blinks. I think Blinks playstyle is better.
I think
upside.
blinks are actually more, like you're less likely to die with blink than you are with dispersion.
100%.
You know, like in
Yeah.
terms of survivability.
I'm happy.
I like it
would
right
be
behind
happy
blinks.
to put it.
You like it over chakra?
Yeah.
I don't hate it. Yeah, I like
Okay.
it over Chakra.
Next up, dispose. Now this is another one that was in the same category as Dark Pact, where Sean and I identified it as kind of a underrated ability.
Yes,
It does a lot for 80 mana.
it really does. It is really strong in lane. You can grab somebody, pull them out of position, follow up with another spell. It's really, really strong. You can combo with like Skewer as a classic combo.
Yeah,
It's one of the better combos you can get.
Dispose Skewer is absolutely disgusting. You can put him under tower. That's
Yeah.
always like kind of a meme, but it works.
We
It
saw
does.
a guy get Arcane Supremacy in a Aether Lens and just
Oh yeah.
pull you out of vision and just throw you behind him into this team, and it's like, wow,
Yep.
that's
Another
good.
strong combo.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It is, but it is like not the best stun.
No,
You
and
can't
people
really
don't
consider
pick
it a
it.
stun.
Like
It's
No, it's
yeah.
it actually. Yeah,
this
there's-
goes like late
Yeah.
in drafts
Yeah.
most of the time.
There is no stun at all. It's just the slow.
Yeah.
It does interrupt channeling though, right?
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
you displace
That's
them.
what
It is
So
the displacement. Yeah.
it is good for canceling TPs. I would say it's especially good against ranged heroes where positioning is more important.
I agree with that.
Like especially in like the laning stage, if you can throw a ranged hero into your creep wave, like that in itself is sometimes enough to kill them because they're slowed for 3 seconds. So yeah, I think it's in generally picks 2 to 4, but like maybe around kind of like Astral Imprisonment.
Yeah.
I think Arena gets picked way before Dispose will ever get picked.
Yeah, but in terms of like what is a good ability,
I feel like it's more near like, it's like your utility ability unless you're like pairing it with something.
yeah.
But I think it's more of like a utility ability, like a Blood Right or a
Honestly,
Dark Pact. It's kind of like a utility thing.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm open to moving.
I think it's close to battery assault maybe, or
Wow.
concussive shot maybe. I think it's similar in that area.
Hmm.
Okay.
All right.
Respect it.
We'll put a near concussive shot.
Let's put it up
Try
there.
and find a middle ground. I think imprisonment is like usually better.
Okay, actually, yeah, fine. Put imprisonment over it.
Bulwark's getting taken before it. Like,
Bulwark gets
every-
taken
every
before it,
round.
but like in some lobbies, Bulwark is
bad.
pretty shit.
Yeah.
Whereas Dispose is usually good and I pick
You can pair it with a lot of good stunts and follow up and just kill
Yeah.
a lot of people.
That's fair.
Next up is one of the highest win rate abilities for Bennett and I. I know we both had it as our number 1 highest win rate ability for a while. It's Disruption. This
Really
is
good.
Pretty good.
yeah.
Utility is insane. You can save your teammates. Really good against attack damage carries
Yep.
for the enemies.
It is
Um,
insane how much damage the illusions can do sometimes if you aren't respecting them. There was one game where I got 2 kills with disruption illusions on a Snapfire, I remember, when I was dead.
Yeah, it's very, very strong.
50%.
I think it's also like really good with pairing. Like if you have Torrent or Arrow and you're not that IO that we played with who could not hit Disruption Arrow to save his life.
Yeah.
That was...
Yeah, like having your own setup tool
Yeah.
is really useful.
Manistration is always 2.75.
Yeah.
So.
It's like a 1-point wonder type of deal.
Yeah.
I think another weird techie thing is if you have someone who has like mana break on the enemy team, or
It's a good counter.
like, yeah, basically something that takes advantage of the illusions. It is actually insane. Like old Curse of Avernus, when it used to silence
that was a
you,
direct
it was
counter.
like an insane counter because the 2 illusions would come out and apply like 2 hits on you, which got to 4.
Yeah.
Obviously that's not the case anymore, but
Still super
it's
strong.
got to be in like pretty high, generally picks 1 to 2, or almost in first pick / deny pick, because this ability just gets taken pretty much always first pick.
Yeah.
First round.
First round.
First
I
round.
don't even hate
generally
it
1 to 2.
behind Chakra in the first deny pick.
Yeah?
It's,
Joel, what
it's
do you
almost
think?
maybe a little overrated. I don't know. What do you guys think?
I don't think it's a first pick or deny. Actually, it probably is a first pick on some heroes if you're going support and it's like that's something that's that good in the lobby.
Mm-hmm.
But at its core, the ability itself, it's basically an astral with the conjure image of the enemy hero attached to it. You know, it's kind of like a 2-for-1 setup.
Do you think that disruption is pickable over a good stun? Like, would you take disruption over
Exactly.
missile, or would you take disruption over like
Or
I mean, you probably would over avalanche, but like one of those really high quality single target
even
stuns,
like Burrow Strike.
like a storm hammer.
Yeah.
Like,
you?
Do you
Probably.
take disruption over that, or?
It's close. That's why it's probably maybe at the very end of first pick or like up near the top of 1 to 2.
Yeah.
I think it's at the top of 1 to 2. I think it's
I could
within
go
1.
with
I don't think
that.
it's insta picked or
Yeah, I
first
think
pick, but I
it's
think
just
it's the
below.
top of 1 to 2 somewhere.
You think it's like maybe there?
Yeah, it's like in that area. Yeah.
Like I think, I don't know. I would rather take Burrow Strike first pick over disruption most of the
I
time.
would.
Yeah.
But avalanche disruption, that's closer.
It is closer.
Just some.
I still like
comparison
disruption
points.
just for the utility you get from the saves
Yeah,
as well as the aggressive.
and yeah, saving is definitely something that people don't do with this ability as much as they
you
should.
need to take advantage of the save mechanic with this
Mhm.
spell.
Next up is disseminate. This ability, I don't even know how it works. Still, I'll be honest.
No one
pretty-
takes this spell because
It's
most
pretty
people
OP
don't really.
with like life break. That's like one of the main combos.
You cast it on yourself,
You jump
and
in
you
with
jump
life
them.
break, and instead of it just reflects
and it's just
all the
percent
damage
damage share.
that you
Yeah.
do to them. Yeah, insta kills them.
It's, I mean,
Techie as fuck,
it's
right?
super techy. It's
Yeah.
it's not really a great spell overall.
No.
To be honest.
Usually left undrafted.
Yeah, it's
sometimes.
usually in the unpicked or actively bad unless pairing.
Yeah.
I think it's maybe around there.
It's really hard to actually make this spell look good.
Yeah, and like I said, most people don't even know what it does, like me. So
Yeah.
I just like to leave it down
Good
there and
point.
just
Yeah.
don't pick that spell.
Next up, this is a pretty good one. It's what is this one
Dissimulate?
called? Dissimulate. Yeah.
Dissimulate.
It's okay. It's escape, right?
It is.
What the fuck is this?
Void
hero's name?
spirit. Void spirit. Joel.
I know it's one of the spirits.
It's definitely best on a void spirit when you get the extra ring.
Yeah, the ring.
It is, yeah.
People like taking this like fourth pick, third pick. I think
I
normally.
think third pick. People like this as like an escape kind of tricks of the tradey, but a little bit more escapey kind of deal.
Most of the time, though, people will know exactly what
When
ring
you
you're going to and just set up for whatever ring is like you're trapped yourself.
Yeah.
If you can go up a hill with it, or like
Can
you
be
can,
good.
yeah, you can like go someplace unique that changes the terrain or whatever. It's better, obviously, or if you use it to dodge something,
Which can be tough to do because there's a bit of an animation to it.
yeah.
It does do 360 damage at max. It's not really a factor,
okay,
but it's
yeah.
just there. I'd
Wave
say
clear, kind of.
yeah,
almost.
there's a little bit of wave clear there, but like It's mainly just an escape / positioning.
You know when you go for the
Tool.
wave clear and then you spawn in and then they're set up for that?
Yeah, they're waiting.
They're waiting to jump on the ring that you spawn on. Yeah. I would say it's still and generally picks 2 to 4.
Yeah.
But probably at the lower end.
Close to like a Celestial Hammer.
I like that. Joel, what do you think?
I'll agree with that.
All right. You think it's better than Cold Feet or Cold Snap? Sorry.
No, below that actually.
Yeah, near Blur.
I like it there. I don't hate it.
Next up is Divine Favor. We had someone recently first pick Divine Favor,
Oh, they lost.
and
that
they
game.
lost the game.
Yeah, it's,
Well, who was that guy's name? What was that guy?
Yeah, I don't remember his name either.
We played with him, didn't we? The previous game, he was on our team,
Yeah.
and he was. No,
I'd love to
We
call
played
it,
him
but I
twice in a
can't
row.
remember.
yeah, these were sweats we played.
He was
twice in a row.
trying. He was trying.
They were like a 3-step.
He played Chen basically.
Yeah.
It's bad.
It is bad.
It's regen. It's armor. It's amp, and there's an Ags where it like doubles the bonuses or something, or like.
The eggs.
HP becomes global
Oh,
and
yeah.
affects all allied units.
Yeah. Whatever.
Yeah.
It's nothing. Yeah. You're never really gonna draft
like
this.
Arcane Aura is this, but for mana, and it's way better.
Yeah,
So-
absolutely. I agree with that.
Undrafted,
Yeah.
actively bad.
Unless you're
Griefing.
going on some
Probably
sort of
griefing
like
almost.
I think it's
heal
in the
bot
bottom.
build. Yeah, it's like probably
Is
the
Zip
bottom.
alone?
I think demonic summoning is better.
There actually might be more value from demonic
It
summoning.
is now the worst ability that we've seen.
That's,
I like it. Let's trash it right to the
Yeah,
bottom.
trash, shit. Next up,
Doom.
banger all Doom.
Quite solid.
Now that it
Eggs.
is, you cannot heal, and pure damage. It's
Okay.
pretty good.
Yeah, can't cast spells.
You can use items now.
You can still, the enemy can still BKB.
Yep.
Um,
Eggs is nuts. You throw it on yourself.
Eggs
AoE,
is really good.
just
The
run.
AoE.
Turns into like crippling fear basically, but better.
Usually, a lot of people in AD, if they're trying to do like a tank bot build, you throw a Doom on them and they can't heal. It can actually cripple their tank build pretty heavily.
Yeah.
I like it.
It's good with Soulbind.
It was great with Soulbind.
Very.
Better on a Doom than anyone else.
Definitely better on a Doom. Because you get that 25 talent where you can either mute the target or apply a break with
Yep.
Doom.
And then you have the eggs already and the AoE break.
Yeah.
AoE up.
AoE mute is probably
Pretty
the best
crazy.
option.
Yeah. I think this usually is not first picked, but second rounded.
Yeah.
You know, if you see like they've picked a tank passive, you're like, okay, Doom's
Similar,
good.
yeah. It's
Unless
similar to
it's
Demonic
necessary.
Purge, kind of.
Yeah.
One
Yeah.
si-
It is very similar.
Yeah.
Usually just a single target, but the Ags makes it kind of AoE. But
Yeah.
I'd
I
say,
think right next to it maybe.
do you think it's behind Demonic Purge or above Demonic Purge?
I think it's above.
I think it's above as well.
Yeah, we can put it above. If it's rarely only picked really quickly in the first round if it's like you need it. If you're like, okay, we're gonna need a Doom this game, or we're never gonna kill these guys.
Like, I don't think I've first picked a Doom in a while, but I've second picked a Doom plenty of times.
Yeah.
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 It's a quality spell.
Next up is Doppelganger. Doppelganger?
Yep, Doppelganger.
Doppelganger. This is like, I swear 90% of the time we take it, it's to take it away from the juxtaposed guys.
Usually, yeah.
You know?
It really is, yeah.
Like, you're like, I don't want to play against the guy with juxtapose and all the Doppelganger, like,
100%.
escape.
Yeah.
So I'll just take Doppelganger. It's good for dodging stuff.
There's
if
a
you're Sean,
dispel.
you bait and you actually move. If you're Joel and I, you just use it and then run.
And then
Yeah.
away.
And then they focus you down anyways.
Yeah, you can bait the enemy and micro the illusion that doesn't do any damage but takes normal damage.
Which is like, we ain't doing that.
No.
But if you max it, it's a pretty good escape. A 10-second cooldown, blink 575 units away that spawns some illusions for you. It's
And yeah, if you're playing against like an enemy composition that's applying a lot of like damage over time spells on
Great
you,
for dispelling, yeah.
the dispel is really big. That's like, I'd say the main, one of the main things about the ability.
Yeah, I agree. It's also really good on a PL with the cooldown talent.
Yeah.
Because uptime on Doppelgang gets to, I think, Joel, can you hover over it? I think it's like minus 6 seconds or something.
-4 second and 25.
Yeah, okay,
it's
so it goes to like absolutely busted ass
6
levels.
second cooldown, yeah.
Yeah, so
Super good.
pretty crazy. But you normally don't really want to take it. Like, I think it's generally picks 2 to 4 very bottom or like situationally reasonable.
Yeah.
I think it gets picked though.
It does.
It gets picked.
I think it's near
third round.
Ancient Seal, Alacrity area.
Yeah,
Okay,
I'd be happy to put it there.
Would you put it over Blur?
Yeah.
I actually don't hate it over Blur even, honestly.
Alright, yeah. I like it.
Similar to Dissimilate.
Next up is Double Edge. Still on the D's, by the way.
Oh,
but we're getting close.
We are.
Double Edge is Joel's on the CCNs.
It's just I hit.
He cannot type something.
No, I think it's double clicking. My keyboard's moving. This is explaining a lot.
This is basically only good on a strength hero.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
Most of the time you're killing yourself if you're not already pairing it with some sort of other tank thing.
And you're probably going to want to buy the Egg Shard.
Yeah, to make it viable.
Almost every time with this spell.
I think it's good in lane. Like, I like it for securing creeps, and I think you can, like, zone people. If, like, you're a big strength core and you get ahead in the lane, you can just make Double Edge say, you don't approach the creep wave to, like, an Agi hero.
Absolutely.
Agi melee hero.
You need some sustain with it. You need something to back it up.
Yeah, like the triple bracer centaur walks into lane with double edge dispersion or something. You're like, this is so dumb.
Yeah.
But it's situational at best.
Usually you're not going to take it in your first 2 picks if you're doing a tank build. I think it's probably in your 3rd or 4th pick.
Even then, yeah.
Yeah, like the no mana cost is nice. The low cooldown is nice. But yeah, the health is just actually brutal sometimes.
It is.
So I think it's probably in situationally reasonable, maybe near like the axe abilities where it's like really narrow.
It is pretty narrow.
Maybe near like Pugna.
Is it better than Deadshot though?
Yes.
Well,
not really, I don't think.
Really, not really.
I think it would be on a strength hero.
Yeah.
I think people
but
underrated or don't use it properly, or I don't know what exactly it is, but
Death Pulse even.
Really?
Like that area.
Yeah.
I'm fine with having it up there, but I'd put it can go middle.
We can go near Death Pulse.
I like it just behind Death Pulse.
I just like
Shard's
whenever I
pretty
kill
strong.
myself with the double edge by just like using it 3 times, I'm like, oh my god, this is so dumb.
Yeah. You do have to be on a good strength hero with other sustain, either through items or another ability.
Mm-hmm. Alright, next up is Dragon Slave. This is one of those abilities that, I don't know, it wheels, it goes long, it's pretty mid.
It is pretty mid.
It's like a last pick when someone picks Fiery Souls, and then
It's basically
Crypt
Crypt Swarm, but it's like
It's
slightly
like a
different.
worse. We can put it behind. It's like a Crypt Swarm, but literally the same.
Is it better than Crypt Swarm?
Well,
No,
let's see.
Crypt Swarm's better.
I think Crypt Swarm is a little more.
130 mana, 8 second, 325. Where this is 6 second, 325, 110 mana. So it's 20 mana less.
Crypt Swarm's actually better on paper.
Yeah, and just less cooldown. So I think it's probably in situationally, not in generally picks 2 to 4. I've seen it go unpicked like the last like 4 times it was in our games.
Yeah.
The other one is 600 range, where this is 1,075 though.
That's
The other was
true.
600.
That is
This
a
is
long,
1,075.
That is a long
That
range
is a
nuke
lot
to
longer.
clear
That's
creep
almost
waves.
twice.
That
You
is
can
true.
defend high ground with this
You
spell.
know, that is a lot longer.
Nuke out
That is the
waves.
one upside, and it is 2 seconds, 2 second longer cooldown, 21 mana, same damage. Can't scale though. The other one did have abilities if you were on a DP.
Well, Lena has like the dot one, right? Like she has damage over
Yeah,
time or
yeah.
something on the facet.
The
or
facet,
some
it's
shit.
pretty terrible, but yeah.
Yeah, slow burn. Oh, maybe not.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, it is. Oh, it's on all of her abilities.
Yeah,
I didn't know
it
that.
does affect all of her spells.
Huh. All right, well that's okay, but like Dragon Slave's definitely her worst ability by far. So
I think it's very similar to Crypt Swarm.
I think it's objectively worse than Crypt Swarm.
Barely. I'd put it just under Crypt Swarm then
Really?
if we're gonna really compare it.
All right. I think I like Crypt Swarm way more, but that's just me.
Actually, we could get lower. Actually, I think
The longer
Let's do a
range
little more
makes
strict.
it a little better,
it's
but
such a basic.
it's definitely probably better than the fucking hammer.
Like there.
Yeah, I like just above hammer.
Yeah. All right, next up is Dragon Tail. This is usually pretty second, third round stun. Like, you're not first picking this really.
No,
Because it's so melee.
Yeah,
Like the
melee
distance
range,
is so
low
range.
damage. It's a 2.4 second stun. It's nothing really amazing.
No.
Uh-huh.
Obviously, it gets better when you're in Elder Dragon form.
Which is
So-
hard to assemble.
Hard.
Well,
Yeah, well, people will deny pick it from you if you have
Most
Dragon
likely.
form. Or I will. Because I don't want
Yeah.
to play against ranged Dragon Tail ever, really.
yeah.
Of course, it was a bigger deal when Dragon form was actually relevant in AD. And
Yeah,
like,
now it's
wasn't
not
kind
really.
of a potato-ass pick.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. I feel like it's good. Joel, you've probably played with it more than anyone else here.
It's not that good.
Where do you think it lies in the tier list?
Near Cold Feet. Bushwhack. Like
Yeah.
one of those, you pick it up as like your fourth. It's a stun.
You can, yeah.
It's
You're
not a
not
good
gonna,
one.
You're probably not going to initiate with Dragon Tail. You're probably going to use something else and then Dragon Tail them because of
Yeah.
the range problem.
Or if you just blink Dragon Tail them sometimes.
Yeah, if you have a Blink Dagger, it could be your first spell that you use out of a blink.
Yeah.
But yeah.
It's pretty bad. Next up is kind of one that's risen in stocks recently,
It
which
really
is
has.
Dream Coil.
Yep.
The eggs really...
Everyone tries to buy eggs.
Yeah.
That's the main
It's meta.
main
That's what they
pickup.
think.
Like they're just looking for that eggs timing. They get the Dream Coil eggs, and then it you get attacked at a rate equal to 90% of Puck's attack rate, and the attacks continue if they break the coil.
Yeah.
So really, you're guaranteed probably
3 seconds.
3 seconds of attacks at
Yeah.
90% of your attack rate on everybody that's hit by it.
And,
And
that's,
it's-
and if they sit in the coil, it's 8.5 seconds.
Mm.
Uh,
I think it also
Or
has
6.
like probably one of
Oh,
the
They break it at the last second.
like techiest kind of like combos where like
That's true.
if you get something like Shadow Realm Dream Coil,
Oh.
the Dream Coil will use your auto or use
Yes.
your like
Attack modifier.
attack modifiers.
Uh-huh.
And when you get something like that where it's like comboing with some weird thing like or like I don't think we've seen it, but like Fury Swipes, or maybe we did see it with Fury Swipes once,
Yeah.
where it literally you
Enchant
get like
Totem.
or Enchant
Enchant
Totem just
Totem.
full to zeros a team if you get them in it.
Yep.
Like the ceiling on this ability is bananas.
Yeah, it really combos heavily.
Always 75-second cooldown. Obviously, it's better on Puck when you get the talent that makes it break spell immunity or go through like magic immunity.
Yep.
Is it first picked or instant picked?
It has been recently, but like I think it's a little bit overrated.
Me too.
Yeah, I think it's a little overrated. I'd put it down more close to. I'm getting near Kodak Offering.
Yeah. I think it's around like I think it's better than the passives and around these alts, but better than those alts.
I like it above Coupe de Grace,
All right.
honestly.
I mean, yeah. Without the eggs, though, like, do you think it gets this high? Probably not. Like the eggs is really pulling a lot of the weight here.
It is.
But
Yeah.
even as a stun on like a support, it's pretty good.
Yeah. You go blink.
I still
Use
like
it.
it. I just think there's too many OP combos you can get with it.
Yeah, that's true. The upside is too high. Next up is Drinking Buddies. This is again kind of weird where it's like
Sometimes.
Deluge, you know, sometimes it's tag team, sometimes it's Drinking Buddies. I don't exactly know why it's coded that way.
I'm not sure either.
I don't even know how it works either.
It's like, yeah, okay, this random facet from Tusk will sometimes be in here,
Yeah.
but it's
They
pretty
nerfed
mid.
it pretty heavily.
Yeah.
There used to be a lot longer range, and now the range is a lot poorer, so you don't get as much of that like saving pull that you used to get.
Yeah, thanks, Boxy.
Yeah, all the professional Dota scene, they were
Yeah.
spamming this for a little while, and then they nerfed it.
Yep.
Really, this spell's not getting picked up very often in ability draft at this point.
No, I think it's probably in unpicked or actively bad unless pairing, which is kind of sad because like on
It
paper
is.
it's decent, but it's just really bad. It's better if you have like Snowball or something. You like pull your ally and do the Tusk thing.
I
or
think we
Snowball.
have
I
to
don't-
keep it in situational reasons.
Yeah, I think it is a situation. Also because you can alt cast it, and you will never pull your teammate towards you, and you will basically only ever give your teammate 25% movement speed for 6 seconds.
And the bonus
And
damage.
the bonus
yeah.
damage. It is half the cast range, so it'll only be 450. But if you do that, you cannot like screw your team over in any way. Essentially, you're only helping them, and so that's like better than Call the Wild Hawk if you're giving a teammate 95 bonus damage and 25 movement speed.
Yeah.
Where are we going? Maybe like Bear, like over Arcane Aura.
Yeah,
I like it there.
I like its natural ability. Like
Yeah.
Decrep, it's kind of there.
Yeah. All right. Next up is Drunken Brawler.
We're almost out of the Ds. We have
are.
3 left.
Drunken Brawler is interesting because unless you're brewed up, it's like pretty mid.
Yeah, and then it's just annoying having to swap through all the different stances.
Sean's the only one that's ever been seen using the swap and is capable of it. And
It's
you
pretty
don't even
annoying.
like this ability.
No, I don't love it. I don't like playing with it.
But is it like just a strictly better Blade Dance at its core if you were to just stay on crit?
I think Blade Dance is better.
I think Blade Dance might be actually
because Blade Dance is 35% of your crit for
Yeah.
180, but you don't get the attack speed.
it's similar. It's very similar.
Yeah.
But
It's okay. People like it though. People overrate
Yeah.
it, I think,
If you're
personally.
brewed up.
I think we'd have to put it almost above Blade Dance.
Yeah.
Or
I think
it.
it's near that though in 2 to 4.
Like objectively, if we just kept it on Fire Brawler, it's better than Blade Dance still, right?
Yeah. Well, it's
So,
comparable. It's not strictly better.
yeah, it's comparable.
But
'Cause-
the fact that it does have other upsides, like if you were to just do the Storm Brawler,
Yeah, to run
you know,
away.
to
or-
run away, 11.
The status resist one's good too. If you're
The
like,
Void Stance. Yeah.
oh, there's a dot on me or whatever, I'm gonna pop Void Brawler and then it reduces it. So I think it's like here where it's like it's reasonable, but I think you talk to a random person in our games, they'd be like, oh, first pick Drunken Brawler.
Yeah,
It's like,
it's not that
I
good.
think we even have it pretty high there, but it is good.
it is
And,
good.
Yeah, most people aren't swapping between stances and getting the
No.
best
No.
effectiveness.
And getting the
Usually
best
it's like, oh, here's my Chrysalis or whatever.
Yeah.
Next up is Dual Breath. Joel, you love Dual Breath, don't you?
amazing slow. 40% attack slow, 80 burn damage. You know, it's quite good range. 850.
It's
That's
a
right.
lane securing spell in my eyes.
It is
Oh, and you
really,
can
really
do
good
well.
lane.
It's just also good to go in. Me and Sean recently had a build where I was top of them, where we were just eating, and it just started with a dual breath every fight, just
Yeah.
slowing them, just maxed it in lane,
Yeah,
just
it's
cast it on them.
basically it's one of those abilities that falls off pretty
Does.
hard unless
Yeah.
you're on a Jakiro and you get like the stupid talent 25 that makes you off screen when you dual breath.
Yeah,
100%.
100% range and damage.
Yeah, it's like it kind of combos with like napalm and stuff. Like I think Joel's had that,
Yeah, it's decent with that.
but it gets dispelled and it doesn't do anything.
I'd say we gotta put it near like some other the laning spells that we put in the 2 to 4 category. Like Blast Off,
Yeah.
Brain Sap, Bramble Maze. It's similar to those.
I think it's worse
You
by
think
far.
it's worse by quite a bit?
Kind of.
Like Under Crystal Nova, it's a similar
I think
spell.
yeah, it's like close to concussive shot for
Yeah.
me.
I guess
like
yeah,
it.
it's
like a
right in
slow-
between them maybe.
It's more AOE though, so you can go a little harder.
I kind of like it better than
Oh.
Crystal Nova, but that's just me personally.
Yeah, like there.
I like it like that.
Cool. Next up is Duel.
The
This is
last
like
D.
basically always gone first pick.
It is
It
usually.
is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Duel is just so good against ranged heroes in particular.
Yeah, you buy Blade Mail,
Yeah. Blink Duel Blade Mail. It's like Blink Blade Mail Duel or
you
whatever.
can't go wrong.
Yeah, there was a game recently where you were playing Bloodseeker,
Yeah.
and Joel was sitting infest tethered in me, and I was basically just waiting for people to go on me so that Sean could blink duel them and full to zero them. So, yeah, the scaling you get from it is nuts.
It is very, very good. Yeah, it's just you can get solo pickoffs every time it's off cooldown if there's some greedy carry out farming by himself.
Pierce's BKB.
Pierce's BKB, that's another big thing. The Ags is kind of memey.
Oh,
Not really that nice, but sometimes it's decent to pick up.
I mean, it's not like it used to be where only the
person could
dual
attack
people
it.
could deal
Take
damage
damage,
to each
yeah.
other, which was weird as fuck.
Yeah.
It's pretty bad when you feed over 30 dual damage to each hero on the enemy team. Joel, you had it
With
recently,
spoils
right?
before. Yeah.
Yeah.
We were kind of memeing you a bit, but I think it was like there was like 90 damage on the enemy team.
If you
or
get too
something
far
total.
behind and you have duel and the blade mail's just not enough anymore, it can feel bad.
Yeah.
But usually it's quite good.
I would say it's
I like
usually
it.
first picked.
I still
Yeah.
like it in the first pick category.
I think it's like middle of the pack. I think it's like in between in between Chaos Strike and there. But it could be lower. I don't know.
Is it that much better than these other alts that we have in generally 1 to 2?
Borrowed Time, is it better than Borrowed Time? Is it better than...
I have a hard time putting it over some of those spells in first pick and I pick.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you think it should
I
be
think
like,
you have to pair duel with something else that's good.
like some other passive.
Usually a passive, probably.
Yeah. God's Rebuke.
Or like an Overpower or God's Rebuke.
Yeah.
Something that's going to amp it up a little bit
Mm-hmm.
and take advantage of the damage.
So below the blinks, maybe?
I like it below the blinks.
Yeah.
I don't mind that.
Cool. Next up, Earth Spike.
The ease.
This is one of the best stuns in the game, right?
It's pretty quality.
The cone.
Yeah, if you're on a line, you get to 20. You get a cone.
Kind of hard to get to, but super
Yeah.
good.
Like, you can hit a Ravage with an Earth Spike, if you know what I
Oh,
mean.
yeah.
If they're clumpy and you just go blink Earth Spike and hit 3 heroes, and it like does the thing where it juts halfway out of your screen to hit a target that's beside the line, it can go pretty crazy.
I had Earth Spike Impale recently.
Yeah,
That
you
was a good
double.
That's a
line.
fun
That was a
one.
nice just throwing lines of stuns.
Yeah, and it goes first pick.
Yeah.
Like, this is
Absolutely.
a first pick
Lion's
stun.
gonna pick
Has to be in the first pick category.
Yeah, so
It's a step above Burrow Strike. It's in a whole
it
other
is.
category.
It is.
I like it just above Burrow Strike.
You
I
don't
think
like it
it's-
in first pick and I pick?
I think it's up here, like with
It's a good stun, but
like that.
it's not the best stun in the. It's not first picked. It's not the best.
Is
probably
it the
one of
best
better.
It is
basic
one of the
ability
better.
stun?
Nah, Stormhammer.
Stormhammer and this are pretty close though.
So it's really close between. I almost think that
Yeah,
Earth
is
Spike's
Avalanche
better than Stormhammer. I'd say personally.
All right.
You can hit more people with an Earth Spike. Most
That is
likely.
true. If you line it up, you can hit more heroes.
an
Because
Avalanche though.
I think it's better than Avalanche.
Yeah, definitely better than Avalanche, I'd say.
The uptime is higher. Like you can get more stuns off in a fight. The damage is crazy. I don't know.
Cast range is only 650, but it hits a lot
Oh,
farther than that.
650 is such a fucking lie. It hits up to like 700 or something. I swear to God.
Yeah.
It is bizarre how that works.
I like it in the first pick and I pick.
Yeah.
The very worst of it though. I would put it there.
I mean,
Would
it's
you put
one
it
of the
there?
best stuns in the game. Where do we put the best stuns in the game?
Up in there for sure, but it doesn't even compare to Black Hole.
No, it's
It's
not.
not even. It doesn't even compare.
The
It,
power
like,
level's not there.
Blink, all these
But
blinks.
Chakra,
overpower it.
it's comparable.
Chakra is close. I like.
I think
Chakra.
it's above Chakra.
I think it's above it, yeah. I like it above
I
it.
think it's almost above like that, personally.
I don't hate it.
I don't
like
think
that.
it's better than Blinks.
No, I don't think it's better than Blinks either. All right, next up is Earth Splitter, which
Earth
is
Splitter. This is
look
a
at this.
weird one.
Yeah,
Look at that. That was the number one picked was Stormhammer. Number one win rate is Earthspike.
number one
Yeah,
win rate
Earth
stun
Spike.
is Earth Spike.
Yeah.
That is confirmed.
It's very good.
Wow, that's actually crazy. I didn't know that. It makes a lot of sense though.
It does.
Yeah, so Earth Splitter is pretty garbage, eh?
It's
This
pretty
is
hard
like-
to
Sean
hit.
had it recently.
Yeah,
I had it too.
It's like one of those alts that you're gonna pick
fourth pick, last pick. When
Yeah.
there's like Requiem and whatever the other shitty ass one that you need to be the hero to get working, like Eclipse.
Yeah, Eclipse.
You're like, well, do I want a ability that does nothing or do I want Earth Splitter? I guess I'll take Earth Splitter.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's pretty bad.
When it hits though,
If it
max
hits-
HP's damage is quite insane.
It is. You just have to get that 3-second delay,
Yeah.
or the 2.72
50%
seconds.
movement slow over the crack. Pretty
It is weird. It's like it's super underrated.
It's a good follow-up
Like
spell.
no one ever wants to play with this ability. Joel has like the horrific Elder Titan skin with the big mace that just looks like an
Oh,
orb.
it's only after it. That makes more sense.
Yeah.
It only occurs
A lot of the times it hits nothing.
I think it's situationally reasonable at best. I don't think you can really put it in generally picks 2 to 4 because most of the time it's unpicked.
Yeah, I like it down there.
I think it's probably better than Culling Blade.
I like it better than Culling Blade because you don't get the
Look at this.
any of the bonuses from the armor.
All right, next up, Joel. This is your ability. It's Earthbind.
Dude, actually hit some good earth binds recently. It's if you have nothing else to pick, it's better than nothing, but it's a
Does
not
no
a stun.
damage.
Does no damage.
No
It's
damage.
a no damage root
2-second root.
that at max
That's a skill shot.
at max has good range, but not at the start. And if you max this, you're doing nothing.
Yeah.
But rooting someone.
You're never maxing this.
The only thing it changes is the spell cost, the spell reduction in the range.
Yeah, the CD
I don't-
reduction is.
It's gotta be down.
It's got to be like unpicked, actually, or it's situationally reasonable
at the very bottom.
I like it
literally.
way
It's
down
not
there.
griefing if you pick this, but if there's
Similar to
nothing
a
else
hawk.
to pick, yeah, you pick it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Next up is Earth Shock. This is one that like
I like
people
this
tend
spell.
to underrate. I think
I think it's underrated.
Yeah.
the slow is kind of disgusting,
It is.
and it's really good in lane for securing last hits, especially against melee heroes.
And that small little reposition.
Yeah, and
Well,
the
gap
AOE
close.
is pretty relevant sometimes,
Yeah.
like hitting multiple targets. I also think
Good farming.
having the shard, it makes it like you want to
yeah.
deny pick it in a lot
Yeah,
of
if someone has
situations.
enrage and they don't have the Earthshock left yet, I mean, you want to deny this because that 1.4 second enrage on cast on the Earthshock is really, really good.
Yeah, it basically just turns you into an Ursa, where
Yeah.
like you cannot go down sometimes.
Yep.
So I would say it's situationally reasonable, or in the bottom picks 2 to 4.
I like it up pretty high in the situationally reasonable.
Yeah,
Yeah, I wouldn't mind that.
like I think it's
No.
probably better than most of the passes.
It's like your fourth pick on your enrage build,
yeah.
always. Or someone's denying it as their fourth pick
Or if
because
you're
it's
like a
better
melee
than
carry.
any of it's better than a crap ability, but it's
Yeah.
not. You're taking
It's rare it goes unpicked, but it happens.
It does.
It could happen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Next up, this is a Echo Schlammer Jammer,
A fun spell to use.
and that's about the best thing you can say
Yeah,
about it. Really.
it's fun to click, but really it's not going to do a lot unless
Without
you have
Aftershock,
Aftershock.
yeah.
Yeah.
It's like a fourth pick ult in your Aftershock build. You've been focusing on the basic abilities, and then you're like, oh, I'll just last pick Echo Slam.
I think we have to go way down into the situationally reasonable
I
category.
agree, yeah.
Yep.
The fact that it doesn't stun by itself is like a pretty grieving.
I don't mind it by like deafening blast, ball lightning,
Yeah.
gyrocopter alt. Like it kind of fits.
I like
in.
it just below ball lightning
Yeah.
Yeah.
and above call down. That's reasonable.
Call down does slow though. This does not.
Yeah, but if you get, it'll still do a lot of damage if you hit them.
That's true. If they're in a wave or something.
It'll still wipe a team if you hit it properly.
Yeah. Next up is Echo Stomp. This is tech.
This is a weird spell.
Yeah.
1.7 second cast time.
Yeah, the cast time is pretty long.
It's good setup. If you have like some weird setup that you want, like
Yeah.
arrow or like it's kind of like a Song of the Siren, like a mini Song of the Siren, where you're like, oh, I have them locked here. Let's do something to follow up.
Yeah.
But yeah, the damage is pretty horrific. The fact that people wake up is also pretty stupid. Like, I don't
It's
know.
like a nightmare that's a lot harder to hit.
Yeah,
Yeah.
So
it's gotta be. I mean, it's not picked in a lot of the games that it's in.
no.
So I think it's probably in at least the very bottom situationally reasonable or in the unpicked category.
I kind of like it at the bottom of situationally reasonable.
Like, is it better than
I think it's-
Earthbind?
It might be close to Earthbind.
It's probably better than
I'm-
Earthbind in the Hog.
I'm trying to look at some of these unpicked actively bad, and I'm like, where's it? It's probably better than those.
Yeah, like this
But
at
it's
least
probably
can cancel a
picked less.
teleport.
It's probably picked less.
You
yeah.
can.
Oh yeah,
You can cancel.
Earthbind's probably picked less than Burning Spear, but like people overrate Burning Spear.
Yeah.
So next up is Eclipse. This is like, I don't know. It has to be in the
It
actively
has to
bad
be
unless
paired.
paired.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It is.
It has to be.
But it's good if you pair it. Is it better than pairing Essence Flux with Arcane Orb?
No.
The
Well,
eggs is
Yeah.
pretty good.
I think it does.
It's close.
I think
Really?
it's better.
Yeah. You think it's
I think
better?
I think if you get an eggs, you kind of almost force the enemy team to at least respect Eclipse. You know what I mean? At least you have to buy BKB or
Yeah, you're gonna die if you sit in the clips.
You will get full to 0. It's way better if you're on a Luna and you get the bonus Luna Sunbeam damage talons and stuff like that. But yeah, you can really adapt a whole build around Eclipse and Lucid Beam if you really want to.
If there's 4 alts left and one guy has to pick one still or something, and there's literally nothing, and there's he has Lucid Beam, and you're like, I'll just deny pick it.
Sean did that recently.
That
it doesn't feel good, but it can be done.
Yeah.
But if you don't have Lucid Beam, obviously you're not getting it.
Mm-hmm. So next up is Elder Dragon Form, and this used to be the bane of AD's fucking existence.
It's Arctic Burn.
It's the
Arctic Burn.
You'd get a black dragon that's shooting slowing ass projectiles from off screen that's 80% stupidly magic resist or something insane.
Yeah, it was something
It
crazy.
was this used to be one of the instant pick lock picks, and it's fallen off so hard because they put all that shit on Dragon Knight's facets.
Yep.
So now it's just 350 bonus attack range and move speed.
Which is why
that's it.
The move speed, the attack range.
Yeah.
And the damage.
And I personally think it has to be situationally reasonable at best because by itself, it's not really doing anything.
I don't know.
No.
It gets first picked though every game. First round picked.
It's a holdover though. People are just thinking of the past, I swear.
They're sleeping on it for sure.
It's got to be similar to a Dark Ascension.
Mm-hmm. I think Dark Ascension's better.
Let's see back. I'm looking at pick rate.
Obviously, if you are on a Dragon Knight,
It's a whole different story.
you probably want to take it. But then again, you need Worm's Wrath. You need his other passive, which is so dumb. Because I remember I was playing a DK and I had I had the dragon form, but I didn't have Worm's Wrath, which is his other passive.
The passive.
And I didn't have the effect on hit, so I wasn't getting cleave.
I don't even see it.
Yeah, you might want to control
I
F
think-
here.
I think you missed it there.
It was up here?
Never mind.
Sean's on the smoke, just
It's dual breath.
Uh-huh.
dragon form.
Elder Dragon form. 99.96 pick rate, 46.7%
That is
rate.
bizarrely high.
Really, really bad.
It's always picked up.
But bizarrely high pick rate.
The average pick number though is pretty low, right?
Right here, it's right here. Picked here.
Average
But
pick number is
it's-
7th.
But it's all the way down there in the percent win rate.
Well,
It's
the
bad.
thing is
It's bad.
if you pick it, you should be on a DK,
Yeah.
or you should be on a ranged hero that the range is all that you're doing and there's no other ults left. So I think you can't, put it above Dark Ascension.
Maybe, yeah. Just it's better than
Does
Earth
give you
Splitter,
flight.
Culling Blade.
I agree.
Yep.
I think it's there.
I
Just
agree.
barely.
Yeah. Next up is Electric Vortex. I've seen a lot of lobbies where Electric Vortex is the only stun.
Yeah. It's a weird spell. It's low range, 2-second duration on it.
No damage.
The damage is there's no damage.
There's a little bit of positioning, but not
Not
really.
much. The Ags is kind of funny.
Yep.
It's hard to hit multiple people with that AoE, but
Not having ball lightning, I guess you could blink in and vortex people and hope your team does something.
yeah.
Because most of the time you're not gonna follow up with your own vortex. It's sometimes you have to take it because it's a stun and
It's an egg builder. You have an eggs builder.
Yeah,
It's
and you have
worse
an
than
egg
Dragon
build.
Tail. It's similar.
It is. It's definitely worse.
But it has an egg, so it makes it a little bit better scaling.
I think you could put it at the very bottom of picks 2 to 4. I'd be pretty happy, near Bushwhack.
Yeah, I like it above Bushwhack.
Yeah,
Yeah. Because you can actually hit it.
Yeah.
there.
You can always use it on somebody.
All right, next up is EMP. This is one of the best invoker abilities. I
Yeah.
remember we were talking about this before, and we said that people probably underrate it a little bit, or at least we did.
Yeah.
Sean's always been calling it out as something that's insane with
The
the
egg
shard,
shard, yeah, it's
where it
really
sucks you in.
yeah. The egg shard pull is just absolutely insane.
Percent-based burn damage is nuts.
175 units per second.
Yeah.
there was like one guy who had like a rearm or bad juju or
Hit
something.
of malice with
Yeah.
EMP.
Hit.
Oh
EMP.
yeah, he had like an insane EMP build, and
Hit
it was
EMP.
actually oppressive. Like
Yeah.
the AoE is huge, so
It is.
you can get like a bloodstone and go for that like kind of weird AoE tech build if you want.
Yeah.
But a lot of people don't respect it. So, and the fact that you gain percentage of the managed range, like I didn't even know that
It's
about
pretty
the spell.
nice, yeah. Yeah.
So
I think it's a big area denial. Like it's just a
Yep.
huge AOE.
long CD.
I'd say is it similar to Bloodright but better?
I think Blood Right's better. I think Silence is better.
Really.
Yeah,
EMP might be one of the better.
But
Sun-
that pull
Sunstrike.
though with that shard.
That's true, the
is
shard
It
different.
probably
Sorry,
goes like
no, it's true.
Sunstrike EMP.
It's almost a stun at that point.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
think it's up with like Crypt Swarm. I didn't mind the Bloodright like comparison, but
you think
maybe
it's better though, right, Sean? So like how
I
much?
think
better?
it could be better,
Not much better.
like an arena level,
I like that. I like it being
Lower.
Just below arena.
just below.
Yeah.
Maybe
that
below
egg
Chakra.
shard is
Yeah.
super good.
Yeah, it's better than Chakra.
Next up, Empower. This is pretty much only on melee heroes usually
Yeah, the
because of the
self.
cleave and the self bonus damage.
It's pretty good.
Yeah,
It doesn't feel as nice as like a great cleave from a Sven.
no.
Yeah.
It used to be like better, I swear.
Yeah.
Like they tuned the numbers a little bit because Mag was like getting picked too much in pro games. I don't know. It's really good. It's usually in the first or second round still, don't you think?
Yeah, I think it's in the first or second round still. You don't. I mean, you're probably gonna get it if you're playing core. You could get it on support if it somehow gets to you and it's not getting picked up because the enemy has 5 range heroes or something.
Or you're like deny picking it
Or
from
if it's
the
a weird
Mag on
deny
their
pick.
team.
Yeah.
And you're like, oh, I'll just throw this on you, Sean.
Yeah,
Like, sure, why not?
I'd say it's pretty lowish in the 1 to 2.
Yeah.
I think it's got to be around like Doom, Dismember, that type. Like, I don't think you can really justify going over some of these other abilities.
It seems like it gets picked kind of in line with like the Astral Spirit, Boundless, like lower.
You think
end.
it's picks 2 to 4?
Well, it could be up there. It's like an acorn shot kind of where it's like good, but also like you have to use it right.
Yeah, it's kind of narrow.
Yeah, it's.
You can
narrow.
farm though with that spell quite a bit.
Yeah, I think maybe putting it like next to Acorn Shot's not.
I like it
bad.
better than Acorn, but me personally.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it is melee only.
Yeah, like if you get the bonus damage on a ranged core, you're like, it's whatever.
Yeah, it doesn't feel.
The
as good.
cleave is really what helps.
Yeah,
Yeah. Next up,
this is a good one.
Enchant Totem.
Broken.
This has gotta be first pick, deny pick, almost borderline instant pick. Like this ability deals DMG.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I like it. I don't know. Insta pick is supposed to be our absolute cream of the crop, top tier. Is it in there?
I don't think it's insta-pick. I think it's... I don't even think it beats... It's like, for me, it goes right in between Atrophiora and Astral Step or before Atrophiora, but it's not better than Black Hole or even its brother in the fucking
There's a
Aftershock.
few combos with the.
Yeah, you get like Assassinate,
Yeah, exactly.
Assassinate,
Yeah, it's
Dream
crazy.
Dream Coil,
Huge damage, lots of combo possibilities. It's like a lot of those.
Anchor Smash,
Anchor Smash is a good one.
Yeah.
Boundless.
Big right click
Boundless.
Yeah.
modifier.
Like
Yeah.
there's a lot that goes with.
Walrus
There's a
punch.
lot.
Eggs is really good. You just jump away. Like
Yeah.
if you get it on an Earthshaker too, like oh boy, you are really cooking. Like you can. I had one build where I was like 27-0, just like
Jumping
complete
around,
stomp,
just one
jumping
shot.
around. Yeah. So I think it's what Joel said. I think it's probably around here.
Yeah.
I think
It's
I'd
just barely below Atrophy.
Yeah, I think Atrophy's-
arguably better, but
I think Atrophy is pretty good.
They're very comparable though, right? Like if you get Atrophy and you
Exactly.
pair it with the stuff that we were just talking about. So
Yeah.
Same sort
Yeah.
of
I like
deal.
it below it.
I do like though that it is a percent base huge 400, so it's just like you can pair that with another thing, and it's just
Also with the shard for Miscoil, we saw that
Yeah,
recently
that's
where it
another
was
one, yeah.
like
the
actually
miscoil shooting the
chubby.
enchant totem damage.
Yeah.
It's quite good.
It was like a condo is just one-shotting us. So
Yeah.
that was insane. Next up is Enchant. This is
Kind of a meme.
This is kind of
spell.
a meme spell, yeah.
Yeah.
Used to deal damage, didn't it? Or does it still? No, it's just slows now.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's just a slow. You can get the creeps, take over some creeps if you
Vortex
want
of
to
it.
be that guy.
Like, who's doing that?
No
bro?
one.
No one's doing
Sean
that.
tries. Sean brings out like a centaur every once in a while and throws off the Archon person.
Sean
that
just
we're
goes
landing
like
against.
60% move slow. Good
Yeah.
ability.
Move slow is pretty
It's
intense.
a really good slow. It is a.
Yeah.
That's about it though.
Yeah, that's about it.
It's
No
just,
damage.
Yeah, it's just like usually not picked.
So situationally reasonable near like the bottom
Yeah.
I'd say
bottom
it's-
grouping
yeah.
of them. Somewhere down there.
Like the slow is useful.
Yeah,
That's
I like
about
it.
all I
I
can
like
do.
it there. I don't want to get too high with enchant.
No. But you picked it like fourth
Yeah.
pick many times.
Oh yeah,
So,
I like it over some of these other garbage abilities.
Yeah. Next up is Enfeeble. This is kind of in the same vein, right?
Yeah.
This really is like a mini demonic purge where like you throw it on a carry and it's like, I hope you have a dispel or you're not doing much.
Yeah.
70% attack damage reduction is crazy.
You can
Mhm.
keep it up permanently as well with the 7-second cooldown
Mm-hmm.
on max.
Yeah.
And it's just like ticking a little bit of pure so you can't blank or like it just
It's annoying.
it's just
spell.
really fucking annoying. And in lane too, if you're getting spammed, like I laned against a guy who had Enfeeble and Chakra Magic one time,
Ugh.
you cannot actually lane properly.
Yeah.
Like you cannot last hit creeps. You are trying to last hit creeps with 70% damage reduction. It's so impossible. So
it's pretty good. It's just
Rare use case.
you're gonna get better stuns before this spell.
always.
Always.
Always. So this,
You're gonna pick Brain Sap before this. You're gonna pick most other support abilities before this.
Yeah. It's got to be in 2 to 4, maybe.
Oh, I think it's in situation.
You think it's situational?
I think
Yeah.
it's situational, but like
But pretty high.
I guess,
double edge kind of, but
I guess,
well,
yeah, it
maybe
is
even
down
it
there.
might be even lower. Like fucking yeah, deafening blast.
Yeah.
Is it better than deafening blast?
I mean, what's more oppressive in lane? Battle Hunger or Enfeeble? They're pretty similar, right?
They are pretty similar.
You throw a dot on the
Yeah.
hero, they're like, this is annoying. I think it's better than Battle Hunger because I'm like, at least with Battle
I think
Hunger,
it's
I
better.
kill a creep.
Yeah.
And then
there's
it
a way
goes
to get
away.
It off
This
better
is
than
like,
spell.
oh, I'm not getting that last hit now.
Yeah.
Great. All right.
I like it there.
Next up is Enrage. This is a Sean ability for sure.
You throw that, yeah, throw it on any agi carry, and it feels good.
80% damage reduction, 50% status resist, and the cooldown goes to 30 seconds at max level, which is
Yeah.
quite high.
Then you get the eggs, then it gets even lower.
Yeah.
18-second
That's
cooldown.
bizarre, and,
And
you can use
already
it on
have the
disable.
shard,
Yeah,
so
you
you have
use it
another
on disable.
1.4.
Yeah, if you have the shard with the Urshock, obviously it's way better.
Yeah.
I don't know. I've seen sometimes where Enrage looks like it's absolutely broken, and then other times like when you're behind with Enrage and it does nothing.
You pop it, and they just
If
wait
you don't
till
get
it
it
ends
off
and
and you
kill
start getting stunned,
Yeah.
all of a sudden you're dead.
Or you pop it and then you die through the 80% reduction because guess what? They've scaled and
Yeah.
you are running away with Enrage.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. I think usually it is pretty high pick for some reason. I think just because people like being tanky and like feeling unkillable and stuff.
Yeah.
But I think it's slightly overrated,
Yeah.
and I think it deserves to be high in the generally picks 2 to 4.
Yeah.
I would put it near like a Riki ult instead of some sort of like defensive.
Is it better than Corrosive Haze?
Probably not.
No.
You think so?
I think it's a pretty strong eggs.
The eggs
You
is
are
definitely
really tough to
better.
take down if you have eggs.
Yeah. But how often are you buying Enrage eggs?
You have to have the right build for it, that's for sure.
Exactly. Like, you have to pair it with another eggs you already want to get. You're not going to be like, oh, I can't wait to get my eggs Enrage by itself.
Yeah.
No.
If you have Fury Swipes on a range hero or something, yeah, I get the Enrage. But like, that's also pairing his 2 abilities. You know, it's like
Yeah.
he has such a defensive ult that you need some gas abilities to pair. So
Mm-hmm. It's usually pretty, like, second or third round, in my
yeah,
opinion.
Yeah.
it's not instant.
I like it just below Corrosive Haze then. If I
Alright.
want to put it below Corrosive Haze.
Oh, I
think
was
it's
thinking,
nice.
I thought you said
Corrosive Skin.
Sorry, that's why I was like, whoa.
No, I was Corrosive Haze.
Oh yeah, I don't mind
I don't
moving it up a bit, but
Yeah.
I like near
Like
Riki's.
there.
Yeah.
Above it, yeah.
Yeah. Next up is Ensnare. This is like a Joel ability right here.
Pierce's BKB, it's just good.
With the, yeah, you need the eggs to pierce BKB, don't you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
also reel in, if you're playing on a
pretty
Naga,
good.
is actually so good.
Like, it doesn't
Yeah.
deal damage, but 5 seconds.
It's almost
root.
always good. Yeah.
We've done so many games where I just throw a couple levels in this, and all of a sudden it's a 3.5 seconds of the enemy standing there after they're trying to run away, and we're just right clicking them.
Yeah, or you pair with like Firestorm. I've seen you get ensnare Firestorm a few times, and
No, that's
just
crazy.
insane. Like
Yeah.
the amount of damage it does is crazy. It's also like it kind of forces them to get a dispel, like Manta out of it. It's really bad if you're laning against Mirror Image, which is funny because I've played against it where a guy's Mirror Image, you throw ensnare on him, he just instantly dispels it, and you're like, oh yeah, that's the worst
Yeah.
part of this ability.
Yeah.
It's really
Cast
bad
range is
against
pretty
Dark
low, too.
Pact.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think we can put it.
It's always picked, right?
Yeah, it's in 2 to 4.
Yeah.
It's in 2 to 4, but is it Bushwhack level? Is it Bramble Maze level,
No,
or is
it's
it Blink
better.
Strike level?
I think it's like near Battery Assault Bramble Maze, personally.
I'd say it's almost. I think it's above Bramble Maze, just below Brain Sap.
Wow, I like it. I'll yeah.
Yeah.
I
That's
like
a heavy,
It is
long
just
route.
like, especially against a melee hero, you throw it on them and they cannot right click anybody sometimes.
Yeah, I like it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Next up is Epicenter. This is weird.
Pretty underwhelming.
Yeah, this is like, it used to be really good because Sand King had like the weird shard where you'd run around. I don't know, is this still the shard or like, pretty sure they changed that, didn't it? Oh, it still does work. But people were like going for it like every game for some reason.
Probably
Yeah,
nerfed
it's
it a
not.
bunch.
Yeah, you probably
nerfed
did
it a bunch.
nerf
It
it.
probably was like twice as what it was now.
Yeah, because it was like, I remember people first picking Epicenter back in the day when that first shard, like that shard first came out, and now if you see Epicenter picked, it's like, all right,
There must be
Wow.
not many alts
Yeah.
left.
Yeah,
There's some
yeah,
really bad alts in the pool.
yeah.
it does a lot of damage early.
Yeah. You can blow up a hero.
Is it Earth Splitter level, or is it more like where's like Chakram? It's definitely like worse than Chakram
Oh, yeah.
and Arena
Mhm.
by quite a bit. So
Yeah.
I'm almost willing to put it like lower than and down there,
Okay,
down there in the blur
Like
area.
near blur. Below
Yeah.
Alacrity or
like there.
yeah.
Yeah.
I like that. It's an
It's
alt.
better on a Sand King, like
Yeah.
having the damage per pulse and extra pulses and stuff, and I guess this shard is
I mean,
still a thing.
We've
but
got a lot of pretty bad alts down in the situationally reasonable column, so
yeah. Like, would you rather have Dark Ascension or Epicenter?
depends on what you're playing.
Generally speaking.
If you're trying to go super general, me
Dark
personally would
Ascension.
want Dark Ascension.
Yeah, so
but
the-
if the enemy has 100 of the Night, then you can't pick it.
That's true.
That's true. So it does make it more
Epicenter.
Epicenter well-rounded.
Yeah.
Dark Ascension.
Epicenter. It's
Epicenter
really
Epicenter is
tough
like
to
if
get
you
off
blink
of.
in and you
have
just
to
kill
commit.
yourself, like
Yeah.
that's congrats.
Honestly, we need to get lower, I think, with it.
yeah,
Yeah?
that's what I'm saying. Like I think it
Like
should
below
be in
Chaos Meteor. Or is it down in situational?
It's moved levels now.
I think it's moving on.
Sean said something. It's gone.
I just don't like Epi all that much.
No,
Yeah,
it's
but
bad.
I actually-
I haven't
I
picked
like-
it in months.
Yeah.
Literally
When
months.
Joel said Earth Splitter, I
Same.
was like next to Earth Splitter in my brain.
Yeah.
I don't mind.
I was
that,
like, yeah.
Yeah.
That's what I said. Is it our splitter? Yeah, it is.
Well,
It's basically Earth
Yeah.
Splitter.
Let's put it way down, yeah.
Well, the thing is like, Dark Ascension, at least you get free pathing and bonus damage, which is baseline good. This is like you can blink in and whiff.
yeah.
If
And
you
you're
have
just
the
standing
time.
there going, boo, boo, boo. nothing
Yeah.
happened.
Joel, Escape Act.
Well,
This
it got nerfed to the ground.
Yeah.
So it probably was pretty good. It probably was higher on the 2 to 4, and now it's lower on the 2 to 4.
Mm-hmm.
Still a decent save. I've made some pretty big saves with it, and I remember one game where we were specifically getting divey and jumpy on, and then they'd use like 4 things on someone, and then I'd escape act them, and then we'd actually get back, and no one would die, and it was like, okay,
Yeah.
not terrible. It's decent.
You've died in Escape Act
Except,
recently a couple
yes.
times, haven't you?
The
'Cause it's
magic
only
resist-
80%.
It was because I would put like one. My other abilities are better, so I put 1 value point, and then it's only 50% magic resist.
Yeah.
Level 1. So they use all their shit on you, Veno Walt or whatever, and you use it, and it's like you're still ticking pretty freaking hard in that.
Yeah.
So, I think it's low 2 to 4,
Yep.
and it's like good utility though. So it provides another level, but it's not like Astral.
It's almost always fourth picked, right?
Yeah, almost always. It's like a bulldoze blood right, but on the
Is
save.
it worse than Dissimulate?
It's like a cold embrace. Yeah.
I think it's
How high are
probably
we
worse.
20-second cooldown.
Well, you can put it on an ally though. Like if you put it on a stunned ally,
Yeah,
it's actually
it's
pretty
good.
good. Whereas
It's like a solid
Dissimulate,
save.
It's like Dissimulate's like you have
It's
to use
just
it
a
yourself.
save. That's it.
Yeah.
It is just a save.
Just to save. So it's like a...
It's gotta be like Cold Embrace, but worse.
Yeah,
So,
that's what I said. So I'm thinking like honestly like a
like around
Blink Strike
here.
to like Brew Drunken
Drunken
Brawler.
Brawler.
Like that area.
Like around here, maybe.
I like it there, yeah. I like throwing a save in the mid 2 to 4 column, a little lower.
Yeah.
Yep.
All right. Next up is Essence Flux. This has risen in stocks because of the eggs associated.
The eggs
with it
makes
too.
you a lot harder to kill, most times.
Combos with a shitload of things. Like
A lot of good combos.
shitload of things. Ball lightning.
Anything spammy, really. Just
yeah. Like shadow poison type stuff. Like,
yeah.
I mean, Nether Blast. Stuff that's just like annoying spam that you want. Any stun.
Yeah.
Basically makes you have the ability to never have to go back to base
For mana.
For mana.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So
It's first picked.
it's first
Usually,
picked every
if
game.
not second picked to pair with their first pick picking.
Yeah.
So it's definitely...
1 to 2.
Oh yeah,
I think
it's
it's
1 to
probably
2.
in first pick almost.
Really?
With the eggs now, people are like, "Ooh, Essence Flux."
Below, I think it's
But
below
you
Chakra.
need stuff to pair with it.
That's true. You
I
think
think
Chakra
so.
is better than Essence Flux?
I think almost.
'Cause they're pretty comparable though, aren't they?
Essence Flux is more like...
The ult
You're
of
probably on
Essence
a
Flux
core
is
if you
kind of
have
like a
Essence Flux.
borrowed time. So I think, and you don't get it right away, and you need eggs. You just lose the game before that sometimes, right? And sometimes Essence Flux, you don't have the best abilities. So I think it's
And you can
generally,
Chakra teammates. You can Essence Flux teammates.
generally 1
I
to
think it's
2.
just below Chakra.
And
Yeah.
it's like,
So 1 to 2.
I think it's generally 1 to 2, but high, very high, generally 1 to 2.
Just under Burrow.
Borrowed, Burrow.
Maybe not even. I would rank it a little lower just because it's initially not that good. But
gotta be
later
like-
in the game, it gets good. And
Yeah.
it has the ability to refresh your mana, obviously.
Maybe we're overrating this.
You think you're...
I don't know, but like think of all the games that we've played where it gets first picked.
Yeah, but we beat
It
all
is,
those
it's
people.
good, but like...
How many
That's
times
true,
have
it's
we
never
picked that?
us.
We never
Yeah.
picked that. They do, and then we just beat them.
Yeah, that's true.
I mean, getting that mana is nice, but it's not breaking the game.
Yeah.
I mean, it
It's just
basically
the
makes
eggs.
you have infinite mana though.
On like a Medusa. it's
Does it
really
matter?
good, but,
Are you
like,
taking full advantage of that all the time, though?
Not if you don't have spammy spells. Like at that point, you pick that, and then
A lot
one
of
the
lobbies
low
aren't going to
sword-
have the cream of the crop spells to pair with it.
No.
That's true. That's true. But even then, though, you can always fall back on like
You
Arcane
always
Orb
can get
because
Arcane Orb.
nobody will take Arcane Orb.
Yes.
It's a guaranteed kind
But
of...
if you're not a right clicker and you're going support, you're kind of you're not going to take that.
It's a
All
tough
right.
one.
So, do you think it's lower in here then?
I
Where
don't
are we
mind
putting
where it is.
I like it under Avalanche.
I'm happy with that.
All right. Next up is Essence Shift. This is a Sean Hasty classic.
It is. It's pretty good. If the enemy team's bad in lane and you can take advantage of them, it's a really good spell.
I think Essence Shift is up there for like in terms of if your models are better than theirs and you have Essence Shift,
On a
it
range,
tips
yeah.
it
Yeah.
so far
Yeah.
over the edge. Like
Yeah.
Essence Shift is, oh, I'm a ranged hero with Essence Shift and there's a melee enemy in my lane. They're not in the lane.
Yeah.
Like,
It's one of those spells that'll zone melee heroes out of the lane.
and then
For
you get
sure.
to that late game, like, I have 36 stacks of Essence Shift and I'm a beast unit.
Yeah.
It's got to
But
be
how
first
high
pick.
can we go though?
It's
How high can we
definitely
go?
first pick because it is first pick.
It is.
It's just how high in first pick is it? I think
Is it better than Chaos Strike?
No.
no.
So it's
Is
below
it better
that.
than the blinks? That'll be a good.
No. Like, it's one of the worst first pick passes.
I think it's above dispersion, below duel.
I don't
like
mind
that.
that. Yeah.
I don't mind it because it's a better right click. People get baited in dispersion, but like, it's a good.
People get baited into Essence Shift all the time, too, though. You get it on a
100%.
melee hero and it looks like ass.
Yeah.
Especially
true.
if it's on a bad melee model, like a slow melee model, then oof. You're really struggling to extract value from it. And also, here's a PSA to all the fucking idiots out there that put more than one level of Essence Shift
Oh, I
in.
know.
It doesn't do anything.
It doesn't.
Leave it. You get one level in. You max everything else, and then you go back
Yeah.
for Essence Shift. Unless you're like desperate and you throw a second level in for like
At
whatever
most,
weird reason.
maybe a second level, maybe.
If you're really struggling and you think, I don't
Like,
know, you're
if you
gonna
think
be
you
there
can
for
take
20 more
advantage.
seconds and then hit them a bunch more
Yeah.
in 20 seconds and get the value
Like,
out of that.
oh, I
20
needed that
seconds.
6 strength or whatever,
Yeah.
6 agility.
Probably you're just gonna get one level.
Yeah.
Alright.
Next up is Ether Shock. Sean loves this ability, so he's trying to get Joel to last pick it.
I don't
Big
mind it.
burst, Big burst.
It's a little burst,
9
8-second
targets.
cooldown. 9 targets.
Some wave clear.
600
pretty
AoE.
good.
It's kind of like just like a Crypt Swarm though. It's kind of just like a
It
Dragon
is.
Slave.
It
It
is.
is.
Yeah.
It is. It's
Well,
the
you have to
6.
point target it.
5 less damage, a couple
Or unit target it, sorry,
second
not point.
cooldown. Yeah, and you.
It makes it worse.
Which
Makes
is
it
a lot
worse.
worse.
So I think it's probably.
Below Crypt Swarm.
Yeah, it's below Crypt Swarm, but is it below like Bushwhack? Probably.
Below Dragon Slave.
It's below Dragon
It's below
Slave.
Dragon Slave too.
So is it in situationally reasonable or generally picks 2 to 4?
I think it's a
Generally
2
takes
to 4.
2
It
to
has
4.
to be.
Do you think it's still
5
there?
Bushwhack.
Yeah, I
It's
think
like,
it's
do
worse.
do you want damage or do you want a little stun? Bushwhack or
If you don't have a wave clear ability, you get it as your 4th pick.
It's a fine
you're like,
pickup.
It's not
"Alright,
bad."
Cool.
Yeah.
Like you can secure range creep and stuff if you go middle. Like it's decent middle too, even sometimes. So
Yeah.
140 damage at level 1.
It hits hard.
That's actually significant.
It
at
hits
level
really
1.
hard early.
Yeah. Next up is Exorcism.
the last E, right?
This is
no,
nope.
Eye of the Storm.
Eye of the
Eye of the Storm.
Storm is the last one, yeah.
Yeah.
This is an ability that, like, it used to give you innate movement speed. It used to give you, like, basically, like, if you got this on a strength hero, you won the game.
Yeah.
Now it's not as good as that,
No.
but, ooh, it's still first pick.
It's still
every game
really,
for the
really
most
Still
good.
part.
first picked every game, especially on the DP.
Yeah. Or,
Or
a
a
strength
strength,
hero still,
yeah.
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 I take Exo most of the time, I think, out of all 3 of us.
I like it, yeah.
And you take it middle, you take their tower when they leave, and like if you're 6 and you have Exo, pop it.
Yeah.
Just
100%.
pop it and just zone them from the lane and
Yeah.
like kill creeps. And even if you're losing, like at least you will use your ability and have some sort of impact in the lane.
Yeah.
Eggs is obviously pretty good.
Egg is very good. You
Yeah.
can really get a lot of extra value out of the eggs with certain
Mhm.
spells.
I think it's one of those abilities that people still kind of have that like almost like they think it's still as good as it once was and they'll overrate it, but yeah, like it still falls off late game.
Yeah.
Eventually.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Eventually. But it's still such a good pushing tool. Fight around it, group around it.
You get like tank
I think
passive
it's
with it.
still up in the
Generally picks 1 to 2.
is it in 1 to 2?
Yeah.
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 I don't think it's first pick or deny pick.
I think it's first round pick, but it's not first pick or deny pick. So I think it's similar to like a borrowed time, honestly, up there in that kind of pretty high alt picky range. But
Yeah. I could see it next to borrowed time.
I like it right up there, yeah.
Yeah. Next up is Eye of the Storm. This is another pretty mid alt. Yeah, like it's like
not-
your last picking Eye of the Storm.
yeah.
Deals physical damage.
Physical damage, the eggs hits buildings. So you can kind of push and it hits 2 targets.
It
Twice
can
as
be
good.
impressive. When you are against a team of low armor heroes and Eye of the Storm is hitting and like reducing their armor and dealing physical damage and just being annoying, and you can also use it to farm and stuff, like
Yeah.
it puts in it's like worth its weight, but you really don't want to take a Eye of the Storm early in a
No.
game ever.
No. I mean, if you're already buying eggs and there's really no more eggs upgrade alts out there and you're like kind of a tanky core, it's not terrible.
Mm.
So, I mean, it's probably in the 2 to 4 range. I think it's a little bit of a step above these other alts that are in situationally reasonable.
I agree. I think it's probably
Well,
well it's above Arena, Sean. This is the classic.
the arena's that benchmark we keep going back to.
I don't think it is.
You don't
I don't
think
think
it
I
is?
don't think
better.
it is either.
I don't think it's
I
better.
think it's close though.
I think it's just below that.
Yeah.
Chakram. That's
Below.
the next bench.
Is it above Chakram?
No.
It's not pure damage.
It's not.
I think it's no.
No.
30-second duration though.
The uptime's
Yeah.
pretty good.
Yeah.
You can farm a lot with this spell.
We'll say it's below Chakram though.
I
do
put it
agree
just
with
below
Joel.
Chakram.
Yeah. Next
Alright.
is Fade Bolt.
We're going into the S.
We will do F. This is basically something you don't want to have to be picking ever, I think, personally. If I'm taking Fade Bolt, I'm like, oh, there's not many spells left.
Yeah, it's... I mean, it's kind of nice on paper. The damage reduction's there for 10 seconds. It jumps around, usually hits a bunch of people.
It's good at lane securing.
Yeah, you
Creeps.
secure the range creep with it.
Yeah.
The
I don't
crash
know.
range 800 at all levels. It's kind of nice.
It's balanced around being amped by Arcane Supremacy,
That's everything, yeah. So
which is like why it's partially
it's
kind of
good.
crappy.
Yeah.
Because it's balanced around being amplified. So
Yep.
I don't know. I think it's situationally reasonable. I don't think it's a pick 2 to 4. I think you normally aren't happy to have this,
Yeah.
but it like rounds out your.
We
support
have
build.
put all the other wave clearing nukes in the 2 to 4 categories.
But
That's
like
true.
acid spray, that's the top of situation reasonable. This is like a single target acid spray, kind of that bounces around a little bit. You know,
Yeah.
I don't think it's.
I mean, it's kind of like an ether shock. I'd say is a better comparison.
I agree.
So is
But-
it worse than ether shock?
Yeah, I think so. Because the damage reduction is basically negligible, which is weird.
It is kind of negligible because you don't have the talent on Rubik
Yeah, makes it more.
for the extra 12%.
I think if you want, you can put it like there, like a bottom of generally picks 2 to 4, or top is situationally reasonable.
I kind of want to keep it in 2 to 4. I think
Okay.
it's a real step down in the situational category.
Yeah.
Alright, whoa, just teleported. Like there, maybe?
Yeah, I like it there.
Next is
Ooh.
False Promise.
Joel, this
one of
is,
the best saves in the game if
yeah.
you're a healer or can
Throw
delay
it a holy,
damage.
a
Yeah,
holy
Yeah.
neck or whatever the fuck, holy locket.
yeah. Hold to Holy Locket boots, and then hopefully they're fine. Big cooldown. It's a big cooldown. That's the
yeah.
one thing. The alt never is got, but if you were to get it, it's pretty cool.
The eggs,
Hopefully
yeah.
one day. Sorry, yeah, the eggs. Yeah, upgrade. Reign of Destiny is usually got like before.
Yeah,
It's-
having the
it's
shard
really nice.
is actually like a definitely one of the best parts of False Promise.
And the
'cause,
strong dispel as well when you cast it on a lot of people
Oh,
don't
yeah.
really think of that.
like if you're like roared or lassoed or
Yeah.
whatever, you chuck a False Promise out. And,
Really turns the fight around.
yeah. It is kind of worse in lobbies with less healing. Like there are some games where your only heal is Reign of Destiny and Holy Locket, and you don't
Yeah.
have
And
like
that's it.
any other thing.
Basically a mech and that's it.
Yeah.
You don't have
Maybe.
the
You might not
Purifying
have that.
Flames gets taken or something. You're like, oh shit. Now what? So Joel, you're the one who plays with this the most. Where do you put it?
It's good, but you're never picking it usually first or second. You're probably
Mhm.
third round picking it, but it's a decent alt, and it can definitely change a fight. But is it better than Arena?
It's usually more fun to pick an aggressive
No, I
alt
don't
than a
think
save
so.
alt.
Yeah.
You might want to only take this save alt if you have a certain core on your team that needs to be saved.
Yeah, like if you're playing,
Or maybe
yeah.
needs to rely on something like that.
Mm-hmm.
It is situational. You only pick it on supports.
So you
Rarely
think
you pick it on carry.
you don't think it makes it to picks 2 to 4? Or do you
I think it does.
I
Make
think
it
it
push
has
two
to be
four.
in
It has to
2-4.
be in 2-4. It's definitely not worse.
I
than
think
that.
it's honestly
but I think it's up by
close
Arena.
to Arena,
Yeah.
if not better.
All right, what's better?
I think it's close
I think
to
we
being.
I think it's better. I think the shard is pretty good.
I
Is it
think
better
the
than Battle
shard's
Trance?
good.
Yeah.
I think it's better than
I think
Battle
Battle
Trance.
Trance-
I'm happy to put it beside the other heal if that.
Yeah, besides Joel's other heal ability,
Yeah.
which is
we
Cold
can,
Embrace.
We can
yeah.
set it there.
Oh, next up is one of my favorite abilities to pick.
First picked a lot of the
Oh,
times.
yeah.
Oh, man.
Fatal Bonds.
Big, absolute, gummy, 24% shared damage among everybody. 6 people. For 20
This is
seconds.
one of those abilities that's like, if you are new to Dota, you don't understand how good this is. And then when you play against it and you're getting ticked by Fatal Bonds and yelling at your team to not take damage and you die, you're like, motherfucker, we just all got exploded.
Yep.
If you're against a team that clumps, gets a little
Yeah.
stacked on
You
top
can
of each
really-
other,
Yeah.
You throw. Yeah.
Fatal Bonds plus any team fight is like, oh,
You're gonna
well
win.
that it just makes it way easier.
Yeah.
And you're also almost always taking it on a Warlock first pick, which is helping.
Yeah, it seems like.
So, I personally think it's in generally picks 1 to 2. It's like near Golem for me because they're basically the same in my brain.
Yeah.
I don't think it's insta-picked, but I think it's generally picks 1 to 2, and I think you could put it up there with like the Avalanche.
Yeah, I like it close to Avalanche.
It's like huge damage, changes the tide of the fight.
Yeah, and it's like it makes you get a dispel. It's kind of like
It does.
if you don't get a dispel, you're really struggling.
Yeah.
Next up is Fate's Edict. This is gotta be in the tech like situation at best.
It's really annoying if you have something that you're trying to, get going, and then they just constantly are hitting you with the
Disarm.
The disarm.
Yeah.
But it's not that good.
No.
It's not good at all. His worst ability.
Definitely.
Probably, yeah. His worst ability for sure.
It's
I
just
think
too
it's
techy.
Like, how often do you even think, ooh, magic resistance on an ally? Wow. Like,
It can be good if used properly, but then you're dedicating an entire ability just to
Putting it
to
hopefully.
BKB an
BKB
ally.
an ally.
So,
It's I don't know.
I think
Situationally reasonable.
Situational, probably.
Pretty bad.
yeah.
You're
it's-
like
I
blinded.
think
light.
it's
It could be
better,
worse.
almost better than Decrap Borderline.
I don't think so.
Really?
No. Decrep has too many other things like the spell amp and the
Heal.
heal
Yeah.
amp, and
Yeah.
it slows. This doesn't slow or anything.
I guess it's less aggressive, for sure. So
Yeah.
I can put it down there.
I'll put it next to corrosive weaponry. Oh, feral impulse. This is like
Pretty solid.
pretty gangster laning passive too. Like most laning or most passives, like you're kind of sacrificing the early game. This is not like that. This is like good for the entire game.
Yeah, it scales in the late game, for sure.
Bonus damage is crazy.
Percent
and the health
bonus damage. Yeah,
regen. Yeah.
correct.
I mean,
I think it's first picked most games or second picked most games.
yeah, I like it. I like it up
It
there. Probably. I mean, we've got other passes in the first pick category.
Mm-hmm.
I'd say it's probably better than Essence Shift, for sure.
Yeah,
Because you can put this on a melee or range hero, and it's both good.
yeah. I think it's worse than Earth Spike.
Just worse than Earthspike?
Yeah,
Yeah.
like
I
near
like
dual.
that.
Like,
I like that.
yeah. Joel, you had a controversial opinion take or what? You don't
No,
think
it's
that
just
good?
it's good.
It's
But
just
it's usually
damage.
not first picked.
Usually is though.
By
People normally pick
morons.
Essence Shift over it, probably.
But they're making a mistake
But
when
they're
they
probably
do that.
making a mistake overall.
Yeah,
Well,
it's a good
bonus
ability.
health regen in lane.
it does make you sustain in lane a lot better.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And like I don't know, something about percent based anything is just always better.
Yeah, the
Yeah,
scaling
it
is
is
good.
So
It's a good passive. It's a good right click.
Yeah.
yeah. Next up is Fervor.
Hmm.
Speaking of right click, this is generally picks
I-
2 to 4.
Broken
but-
on
Yeah.
Jakiro.
I had it on Jakiro. Yeah,
It
that
is
was
pretty
interesting.
broken.
That and Frost Arrows, and it's just double applying.
Yeah, you get like Geminate
cool.
with it or something and kind of go hard. I don't know. I feel like this is like you're getting your second, like this is your second passive that you're pairing with something
Yeah.
else. Like
Yeah.
you get something like Arc Lightning or something and then you pair it with Fervor. I don't think you ever really want to get Fervor first.
No, so Fervor's probably
Generally
better
picks
than
two.
Blade Dance
Yeah, way better.
Yeah.
and Blood Rage and probably Blink Strike.
It's
Yep.
near like Curse of Avernus to
Really?
me.
Up there?
Yep.
Oh yeah, Curse of Avernus is way up there, so we gotta have it over that.
Yeah, like that. Like, I still think it's really good, and I think it makes you scale innately because you just end up getting attack speed in the man fights where, like, you know, you hit that certain, like, 40-minute mark where, like, it's like carry and carry, let's see what happens, they clash, and then if you have Fervor, you probably outman fight them.
Yeah, it's gonna get you that extra bit of attack speed that you really need to push your damage over the edge.
Mm-hmm. Underlord, Joel. Fiend's Gate. This is a weird
It's a funny
ability.
spell.
Yeah.
Very bad pick rate. Was undrafted for a long time.
If you're playing
for
with a
lot.
party of people that you can communicate with and
It's a lot better.
use it properly, it can be good. If you're
Yep.
just solo queuing, you're probably never going to get any team play with this spell.
No.
Yeah, it's basically like you're using teleport.
Yeah.
It is weird. It is hard to use. It's usually not picked, but those edge cases when it's like you kill someone and then you gate to the other side of the map and kill someone else, is like, that's pretty good. And then you push it to your 2 in that lane or whatever. It's like you can kind of split the map with it.
Yeah.
Single-handedly.
I think the Ags is also underrated.
Yeah.
If you're somehow building an Ags and you have pit, it's a very niche.
As a global pit, right?
It is.
So
it's really good that way.
Yeah.
But
very tech.
I think it has to be in the situational category.
Agreed. With
these other alts that are down there.
Yeah, I think it's probably worse than Dark Ascension. Probably around like Epi, and it's in the same category.
I like it better than Earth Splitter.
Okay. Do you like it better than Epi?
That's really close.
Probably not. I would say probably not, just because it's going to do nothing more times.
Yeah, Epi will at least deal damage.
Yeah.
This is just like
a teleport raw.
And then you do have the weird little innate on Underlord with the little necro units.
Yeah.
Thing, yeah.
Next up this is a banger all Fiend's Grip.
It's first pickable.
Yeah.
It's first pickable. It's probably one of the best stuns
pick.
in the game, if you want to think of it as a stun. But
it's simply one of the best alts.
Yeah.
It's simply one of the best Ags upgrades.
Ags is really big because you can throw that on an attack damage build.
45%.
The fact that it's like 4.75 second duration at level 6. You just walk into a lane at level 6 and just grip a core and
5 seconds and then
they cannot survive.
70 pure damage a second while your team's attacking them.
Yeah.
It goes up in is it better than the blinks? Probably, if you're thinking of it from a stun perspective.
Is it close to Black Hole?
It's not.
It's not Black Hole.
Astral Step?
It's close to Astral for me.
I think it's there, yeah. There, maybe, yeah. I think it's a little bit better than those 2 passives.
I think the big downside is Lincoln's fucks it. Saves fuck it. Like
If you get
Dispels
stunned,
or like, Disruption or whatever. Nightmare is always in the lobby and Nightmare in itself counters Fiend's Grip.
Yep.
So you usually want to have it on your team so that you aren't getting like Nightmare canceled. But yeah, even if you're like a carry or a core and you have Fiend's Grip and you get an Ags and you put it on someone and then just right click them and let your 2 illusions grip, that's usually pretty good.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, really good.
And the cooldown gets lowered so low.
It does get really low.
Yeah.
Like it makes it like 60 seconds. Yeah, it reduces it by
55
seconds.
cooldown.
Less than 60.
That's crazy.
That is.
So,
I like where it is there. It's really strong.
It is really strong. Ooh, speaking of really strong, used to be like the strongest.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, it's not.
Fiery Soul. Still really good.
Yep.
Still solid. Sometimes there's not that many good spells to pair it with,
It's true, you need a pairing.
but usually you can still get really good value out of it.
I think it's one of those things that like, it's kind of like Astral Spirit, where I'm like, I don't really feel like playing with Fiery Soul.
Yeah.
Like, I don't want to have to like track an uptime or like try and maximize by like hitting creeps and like, it's kind of like it requires some mental brain power, and sometimes you just want to sit back and do nothing with your brain as you play carry. So
yeah,
I don't know.
You have to pair it so it kind of brings it down a step or 2 for me.
Mm-hmm.
I wouldn't put it.
People first pick it all the time though.
Yeah.
Every game.
Do we have to put it in 1 to 2?
Yeah, I think so.
We have to.
I think so, because you're never
Definitely have
third
to.
picking a Fiery
It's
Soul.
better than Berserker's Blood.
It's way better than Berserker's Blood.
Yeah.
Better than Corrosive Skin.
Is it better than Coop?
Yeah. It's better than Chilling Touch.
Actually, yeah, Chilling Touch is up there, so we have to put it over that.
Okay. Where are we thinking then?
Near Essence Flux?
Yeah.
Maybe.
Essence Flux,
I
yeah.
like it. No, it's similar, right? Where you want to pair it, right? Where it's like...
Yeah, it is similar.
If you
Really
pair
good yeah, not the best on its own,
Yeah.
but with a couple abilities.
And it always goes early. Like, people will pick it and then find the thing to pair with it second, rather than picking it after they've gotten the first ability. Yeah, next up is Finger. This is like the bait pick of all bait picks.
It's almost first picked all the time,
Yeah.
if not immediately second
Oh my
picked.
god. The amount
It's
of
fun.
times.
It's fun to cast.
It is.
People love it.
Yeah.
Eggs is so fun, too.
It is.
Very good, the AoE.
If you can scale your damage by getting kills, obviously it's infinite scaling, but
Yeah.
most of the time it falls off a fucking cliff.
Yep.
Yeah.
You compare it with Magic Amp, like Decrep or Ancient Seal, goes pretty hard. It's like Soulbind, stuff like that.
Yeah, there's good combos with it. I don't know, it's just a lot of damage in one spell. Usually you can get a kill with it once you get it at level 6.
Do you like it better than Laguna?
Probably. 100%.
Yeah.
It's better
Yeah,
than
I
Laguna.
think it has to be a little bit.
It's
Just
pretty.
a little
I'm
bit.
just like, in terms of comparisons, I guess
It's-
this one scales.
It's first pick 1 to 2.
Yeah.
But where is it better than like a Dismember? It's got damage. Is it better than a Demonic Purge and a Doom?
No.
It's picked more than that.
It is, but it's
is
not
it
as
better
good.
than it?
No.
No.
Probably not. It's just a damage burst that has some
I
scaling.
think it's better than Dismember.
Yeah,
though.
just better than Dismember.
So
I
like
think.
up by Corrosive Skin. Somewhere
I
around
like
that
it like
area.
there.
Just behind the
Above
acorn.
Berserker's Blood, I agree.
Yeah, because I mean, it does. If you have a good snowbally start, it can be pretty
Yeah.
crazy. Next up, this is one Sean likes to pick pretty often. It's Fire Remnant.
It's pretty fun. It's a lot of mobility. Decent damage, not really that insane damage, but
It's like the tech of like putting it out, TP to base, get full health,
Yeah,
mana, get
there's
your
that,
item,
some utility.
Remnant back to lane.
Yep.
it's good for ganking
Yeah,
early if you've got a good build for that.
it's
That's
got a pretty amazing eggs upgrade.
The eggs is really fun. You get the eggs and then what is it again?
The
It
shard.
does damage.
Yeah. So the eggs is really what you're looking for, and then you do want the shard as well. You kind of need the shard as well for the recharge. Then you can really go crazy with it.
Doubles the range.
Oh,
Range is
the range
14 when
literally.
it goes to
Yeah.
3,000.
It's kind of like Fiend's Grip, where it's like the best eggs in terms of like what it gives you in addition to the spell. You know,
Yeah.
people
It's super fun.
people sleep on this ability all the time.
Yeah.
Speed multiplier is also 2, so you actually move.
Way faster.
Yeah,
Yeah, move very fast.
it's a late game like you can turn into a beast if you know what you're doing with Fire Remnant.
Yeah. It's kind of
So-
tough to use properly.
Yeah. Sean, where would you put it?
I'd put it.
Picks 2 to 4.
I kind of like it in 2 to 4. I don't like it in 1 to 2.
Is it better than Arena?
I like it better than Arena for sure.
It probably is a better escape than Arena.
And
For sure.
aggressive, just chasing. You cannot run away from this spell usually.
That's true. Yeah.
I like it. Maybe just above False Promise.
Okay. I like that. I think it usually goes, but I've seen it go undrafted before, so
Yeah.
yeah. Next up is Fire Spirits. This is basically you only want to have it if you have egg, right?
Yeah, it's pretty much only an egg synergy.
Egg, or you have Sticky Napalm. or
Phantom's
something.
Embrace.
Oh,
we
yeah.
could get weird with that.
Oh yeah, Phantom's Embrace.
It's kind of a
Should have
weird
mentioned
combo.
that with Decrep, eh?
We could have
that
done
is a
that with
combo as
Decrep.
well.
Yeah.
Yeah. Fire
It-
Spirits is pretty
The
bad,
cooldown is
though.
just so high, and you need to throw levels into it.
Costs health.
Yeah, it costs health.
That can be devastating on a support hero.
Or does it? It does not
HP cost 20%.
Yeah, it does 20%. I was
Yeah.
gonna say I thought it did, but I
And
didn't see
mana.
it there.
Health and mana.
Yeah.
So yeah, costs both.
Weak.
It's pretty bad. We gotta throw it
Bad,
down to the
bad.
situation.
Definitely
Yeah.
situation reasonable near the bottom.
It's got to be like around here, I think.
I think it's better than a blinding light.
Better than Blinding Light.
Yeah.
Better than Decrep. Pretty similar to Decrep.
Nah, worse.
Worse than Decrep.
I kind of yeah.
Sean likes it more.
I
But
like it more, but we can put it underneath.
Fire Blast. This has gone up recently because of the Eggs upgrade. Wow.
The eggs, yeah, the unrefined fire blast. It's kind of, it feels good, but I mean,
It's techie.
I don't know. It's nothing insane, but it feels decent.
No. Fire Blast is basically just one of those like, oh, how many stuns are in this lobby?
Yeah, it's a stun.
A,
about
a
it.
small stun.
Very
a
small.
1.2 second small 500 AoE
Low cast range.
single target shitter stun. It goes near like
Electric vortex.
Yeah.
It's a pretty low tier stun, yeah.
I think it's better than Vortex
Just
because
'cause the ult.
Or Dragon Tail.
yeah, Dragon Tail's similar. I think it's like probably below Dragon Tail, above Cold Feet.
I'm happy with that.
Yeah.
I guess that's fine. Yeah.
Firefly.
It's bad.
It's pretty bad.
The damage per second's shite.
You have to max it to have good uptime.
It's
If you
still
keep it
a
level
30
1 or
second
2,
cooldown at
yeah,
max.
it's a 45 second, 40 second cooldown, and it doesn't do that much damage. It only gives you flying.
It's free pathing, yeah, that's about
It's
it.
free pathing. If you don't have napalm though, it's like never gonna do a lot.
It's
of damage.
balanced around napalm. It's
Yeah.
like the same thing, right?
Yeah.
Where like you don't want to pick the neutered ability that's balanced around being amplified on its hero.
Yeah.
So
It's got to go pretty low.
It's got to go
very low situational.
Situationally reasonable because it's definitely worse than like Arcane Bolt or
Curse
is it
Strike.
Cur-
Yeah, like there,
It's way down there. Yeah.
like that.
I like it there. Yeah, it's better than Echo Stomp for
Yeah,
sure.
it's like at least you can put it on like a
Yeah.
fourth pick on a core hero, and then
Yeah.
maybe
Move around a
sometimes
bit.
you can maneuver yourself in a fight.
yeah.
like
There's
Yeah.
no yeah.
Next up is Cookie. This is another Joel ability.
great. You just hit that.
Cookie is
Oh,
one
I
of those
kinda-
abilities that you kinda just leave until third or fourth pick, probably fourth pick.
If there's no stuns, you might second pick a cookie if there was no stuns in the lobby.
That's true.
It's decent momentum. It's like a 4-staff and a little stun combined.
Yeah.
Allows you to get gobble up.
No, that's the alt.
It gives you. There's a
Stack
shard.
cookie,
There's a
yeah.
shard, but you
Healing.
have to have your Mortimer's Kisses.
You
too.
have to have more kisses.
It's way better when you have it with kisses.
Yeah. That gets a big upside with the shard.
Nothing. Not a crazy stun. Again, it's probably like a little bit. Is it better than Cold Snap as a stun? Probably because it has like
Probably.
the movement. You can use it on allies. It can help them get out and things like that.
Yeah.
So it's better than Cold Snap, but is it better than like an EMP?
No.
Probably not.
I think it's probably similar to like
Blood Ray.
Blood Ray. Yeah,
Yeah.
where it's like
I'm fine to put it there.
you basically always want a third.
I
Pick
kind of
it.
like it just above Blood Ray because there's a little bit of extra utility there.
Yeah. Ooh, Firestorm. Joel and I
It's
both
good.
first pick this ability like all the time.
Oh yeah. Percent range max health as damage is
Yeah.
is good.
Max
It hits
HP
hard.
burn damage
Yeah.
means scaling equals insane.
Yeah. So
Shard good.
Shard is
Shard's
huge.
Crazy.
Combos with roots, combos with stuns. You get like missile into Firestorm. You guarantee like 3 waves hit the target. It's one of those abilities that guarantees that you will be able to lane 100%. You can just throw it on a range or throw it on a creep wave. It will die.
Yeah.
So I think it's personally-
pretty high ranked here. It's like
it generally picks 1 to 2.
Generally
Yeah.
picks 1 to 2, very high, like near avalanche.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Fatal
it's near
bonds.
Avalanche.
Like it's a fatal bonds. Kind
I'd
of
say it's
big
almost
AoE.
better than Avalanche. I'd say.
Yeah.
Yeah, there are some games where you are fine with not picking a stun and letting them get the stun so you can get Firestorm against like 3 strength heroes or
Mhm.
something.
Yeah.
Right? So
It does that much damage.
it does. Next up, Fisher.
Can be absolutely griefed.
This, yeah, I
Our
love how that's
teammates
the
have
first thing
griefed
you
us
say.
so much with this ability.
Especially when you're on a
The
melee.
melee.
It's, oh my god. The pathing
The
of
pathing
this
also
is.
fucks you.
I
You
don't
could be
know.
a ranged hero sitting on the other side of Fisher, but you don't. You misclick the hero a little bit or something. You click the ground, and all of a sudden your hero's like, "Yeah, I'm gonna go for a run. I'm gonna go for a run here," because you're trying to right click this guy, and he actually is just like 2 meters away. Instead of running towards the Fisher and hitting him, I'm gonna run now around the entire tree line because that's how I would get to him because he's blocked by the Fisher.
Yeah, it's super, super hard to make look good if you're like with a bunch of randoms.
Mm-hmm.
But if you're coordinated and you're like, oh, I'm going to block this guy coming up the hill or something like that.
Yeah.
Can be
It's,
strong.
yeah, it can be good, especially if you compare it with like a vacuum or something that, like, or dispose, something that, like puts them on the other side or like
Yeah.
Yeah.
keeps them there. Good with rearm. That was a classic.
Yeah, that
in
can
the
get
past.
weird with rearm. Yeah.
Can get weird. Block creeps. Stack them up.
Yeah, if you're
Mega
teching-
wave.
If you're teching, you could do that.
You could.
Obviously, the shard with aftershock can be good
It's
if you
good, yeah.
assemble it,
Hard to assemble, but, yeah.
but you're usually looking for more overpowered shit to be doing with aftershock.
Yeah.
We've just seen it work before.
Yeah.
I think it's probably generally picks 2 to 4. Joel, you play with this more than anyone. Where do you think it sits?
Yeah, it's definitely generally picks 2 to 4. Pretty Probably third pick.
Is it better than like a Fire Blast Dragon Tail?
Yeah, 100%.
For sure.
Yeah, I agree.
It can
Is
get
it
a
better
long
than Cold
range
Snap
stun.
and Celestial Hammer?
100%. 100%. It's probably near like the cookie. Maybe a little bit better than the cookie.
Really?
I think
Yeah.
it's close to like charge.
You're going way up.
Maybe too high. Is
I
it
don't
better
think
than
it's
Brain
better
Zap?
than Battery Assault
No,
or
it's-
Brambles.
I think it's worse
I think it's
than
like
Snap.
Astral. It
Okay,
has some
okay.
upsides, but you can grief with it also.
That's true. The griefing part.
Yeah. If
Like
if
there.
like your teammates could walk through Fisher, it'd be bad as shit.
Yeah.
But
Ooh, here's one that
This
is
is
just
wow.
probably not controversial. It's Flak Cannon.
It goes up really high in the list here. But
You can't beat Flak Cannon some games.
no, some games it's too broken. Usually you want to be a ranged hero for sure. It's really not as good at all on a melee character.
Yo, you deny pick this on
Oh,
a
yeah.
melee character.
oh, if Gyro's
Yeah, you
picking
will.
second and you're picking first,
You
you're
have
like,
to.
just pick it.
Yeah,
You have
taking
to
it
pick
away
it.
from Gyro and the Gyro talents is like, you kind of have to. If you aren't, you're probably gonna force
Yeah.
like you're gonna force a GG.
Yeah.
But I think this is like Sean always says, you got a satanic and it will hit while you are stunned,
Yeah.
which is big true.
Yeah. You can survive with
Your
this.
AoE potential, it's kind of like split shot where it applies the right clicks without limiting the passives. Like how split shot's like, oh, you can't use modifiers. Flag cannon's like, I don't give a fuck.
Yeah,
Like I
exactly.
will use
Get
modifiers.
a Maelstrom and go hard.
Yeah.
It's usually one of those abilities that you are deny picking, so I think it's first pick or deny pick, guaranteed.
Yeah, it's probably
I don't think it's insta pick.
not quite.
I think it's high first pick. Yeah, first pick or deny
Is it
pick.
better than
high.
Enchant Totem?
Nah,
No.
I don't think so. Doesn't combo with as many things as Enchant Totem.
If Gyro's gonna pick and he picks Enchant Totem or Flak, though, you're like, I'd hope he picks Enchant Totem.
Yeah, but that's Gyro with Gyro talents with flag
range-
attacks.
That's just any
and
ranged
flag
core, though.
range.
I think it's just below Enchant Totem, I guess.
All right.
Barely.
I'm happy to put it there.
Barely.
Anywhere up there, there's a
Broken ass egg.
I mean, all these
similar-
spells in like
Yeah.
the top of first pick are just
They
insane.
mesh.
Yeah.
They mesh.
Next up is Flame Guard. This is weird now that you innately always have Flame Guard. Like, I think
On the
like that makes it actually okay, whereas before it was never actually picked.
Mm-hmm.
It's good with Napalm because you just always have a burn
It's crazy with
for no
Napalm.
mana.
It's
Like,
crazy with Napalm,
yeah.
It's only on Earth, only on Ember Spirit that you get the passive, right?
yeah. Yes.
I don't know. This ability sucks, man.
It's down there.
Yeah.
It's pretty low. You need to pair it with like some weird fucking sticky napalm.
The
which
magic
even then, it's not even that
barriers.
good.
Yeah, it's like, okay, you pop it, you want to kill someone, then they hit you with a sticky or with like a magic missile, and the barrier goes away, and it dispels itself.
Yeah,
Like-
and it's gone.
Oh,
And
okay.
it's a 35-second cooldown. It's absolutely
35 seconds.
terrible.
Wow. Okay. let's
It's
put this
way
in.
down, unpicked.
Yep.
Get it down there.
Yeah, sorry, Flame Guard. We'll put you next to Defense Matrix.
Yeah, I like
We-
that.
Also in the bad.
2 in a row from
Flame
bad.
Flame Break,
Break.
that's another pretty terrible one.
Right. Yep. Very bad. Bad unless you have sticky napalm and there's no other tick spells in the lobby and you're like, I would like something with tick.
It also no longer mini stuns, whereas before it like used to actually stop TPs and stuff. Now it doesn't.
Let's just put it right beside Blinding Light. It's the same ability.
It
Just
really
has a little
is.
damage over time.
Yeah,
I like that.
Lasso, though, a little bit better.
I like Lasso. I think-
Definitely the eggs.
Yeah, Lasso's gone up for me because the cooldown is pretty low when you get to level 3, and when you get to just grab someone and just pull them like towards your team to their death, it's almost like a black hole for one person.
If you're a
Yeah.
greedy core and you get Flaming Lasso near the end because there's nothing else good, and then you get the shard, and
It's
you
pretty
just
good.
lasso someone and right-click them, if you're
Yeah.
ranged or melee, like that's still really good.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
So I think it's a decent 2 to 4.
Yeah.
Nothing crazy.
Mm.
Is it better than Arena?
No.
No.
I think it's better than Chakram.
And Storm.
I think it's just above Chakram's fine
Just
with me.
above Chakram.
I don't like it above EMP.
I think also, just throw out some combos that we've seen. It's really good with Dive.
Dive, yeah.
It's good with anything that lets you move at haste rune, like Sakuchi,
Sakuchi
where
is
you
a big
can
one.
hit them with the lasso, Sakuchi away.
Yeah. Does
Um,
break from blinks though.
Yeah.
So a lot of combos,
don't
like I've even had a combo where it doesn't work because it blinks you away.
keep that in mind. Yeah.
Yeah.
Works with 4 staffs, which is cool.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a classic Bat Rider thing.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
Icarus dive is like the most.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
we've
that's
had a
pretty
guy who
fun.
was on a Phoenix and was snagging people.
Yeah.
Alright.
Next up is Flesh Golem. This is a
Pretty
pretty banger. All
Pretty solid spell.
45% move slow on attacks at max.
The biggest drawback is just the cooldown.
Yeah,
Everything
damage
else is
amp,
just absolutely great.
Gas.
strength multiplier, move speed.
Yeah.
Health, damage, slow,
Yep.
move speed. What more do you want?
That's it.
It's
Yeah.
basically Chemical Rage if it was worse, almost in a way,
Kind of
which is like
similar.
a compliment.
Yeah.
Low
Similar.
uptime,
Low uptime for sure.
100-second downtime, 40-second duration though.
Yeah, you
You're
can
a
also
beast,
throw it
though.
on like recently I was playing a game where I had it on a spell build, like I had Stormhammer and stuff, but it amps your spell damage too
Yep.
because it's all outgoing. So I think I'd like Tame the Beasts as well, and then it'd be bam
It's really hard.
hitting. So yeah, I think it's generally picks 2 to 4 high or picks 1 to 2 low. But Sean, you've probably played with it more than anyone. Do you think it's deserving of the 1 to 2? Or not?
I think if you click that spell, you're like so strong. I think it's in. I like it top of 2 to 4, honestly.
So it's not better than Berserker's Blood.
Berserker's Blood's always gonna give you that bonus. Just the
That's
uptime
true,
for me
that's
really
true.
hurts it.
Better than Astral Spirit.
I don't mind it above it.
Oh, the new king of
Wow.
picks 2 to 4.
I don't know. You're so powerful.
It
If
is.
you
It
click
is
that
a
button.
picks 2 to 4 though. It is
Yeah,
really
it is.
a pick 1 to 2.
All right, next up is Flux. This ability never gets picked. Let's be real.
Terrible.
Let's just throw it at the bottom and call it a day. This ability sucks.
16-second cooldown. It doesn't do
It like barely does anything if there's a hero next to them, or
Oh.
what is it again? If there's a unit near them.
Yeah.
The damage is not applied if the enemy unit is near
So
the
it's
target.
basically nothing.
Then it's just a move slow.
Yeah, you don't. Yeah,
Terrible.
You don't have Tempest double, and you're not casting anything.
Yeah, it's really balanced around Tempest double. So, next up is Focus Fire.
Pretty good.
This
Can
is
be
pretty
comboed
good.
with some
A lot of
really good
combos.
attack
A
modifiers.
lot of combos.
Fury Swipes,
Yeah,
Arcane Orb Essence Flux, literally
bash.
Bash
Yeah.
is a great one.
anything. Bash.
It's
I mean-
pretty bad on a melee hero.
Oh,
Yeah.
you don't pick it
Have to
on
be
a melee.
ranged.
You know,
Have
you
to be
don't.
Yeah.
ranged.
It's really good if you can have it on a Wind Ranger in particular.
You're almost always like third picking or sometimes second picking this. It makes me almost feel like it's like almost like a bulwark type of 2 to 4,
Mm-hmm.
but it might be a little bit better than that. It might be a little bit better. It might be up near like Lich Ult.
I think Glitch Alt's way better,
Yeah.
personally.
Maybe it's just below Corrosive Haze.
I like
Or
that.
closer to near
Maybe
Fervor.
if we're trying
It's
to
like
go
a
up
Fervor
top there.
kind of
That's
thing.
Fervor. It's very similar to
Yeah,
Fervor. I
it's
think
an
having
alt
a-
version of
yeah.
Fervor, so it's probably a little
I like
worse.
it down
'cause it's
there,
alt.
yeah.
It's still like pickable. Like I don't think it's unpicked in most games, but yeah.
Well, the next ability is.
People take it.
I haven't seen this
Forge
ability picked
Spirit.
in months.
Yeah, it's horrifically bad.
Horrifically bad. Just griefing.
Is
if
it better
you
than
pick it.
demonic summoning even?
I mean,
Probably not.
how much gold are you feeding away? Probably less.
Yeah,
With the
that's,
Forge
that's
Spirit.
true. I guess we'll put it above.
It's really shitty. What's not shitty though is this next ability, Fortune's End.
Good.
Very
I
strong.
love Fortune's End. I think this is basically a stun in 99% of games, and you can first pick it in 99% of games.
Yep.
Yeah.
Dispel is great.
Yeah,
So
that
good.
is
They
great.
hit something and it, boom, dispel it. Oh wait, you don't have that anymore. Oh,
Yeah,
that sucks.
Low cooldown.
Jingu. Oh,
Really?
you got Jingu?
really broken on an Oracle. Pretty sure you can dispel Jinku, but
Actually, I think you might be able to.
I think it's not dispelled.
Are you sure?
Pretty sure.
I'm
Look it
not.
up on
Let's
Thinking right now.
let's
We
go
can
to
look
the
this up.
stats. I'm not sure. You might be able.
Cannot be dispelled. Sit.
Dispellable.
Sit.
to. All right.
Sorry.
I'll take the L on that one.
Yeah. That's okay though. I think it's also notably set up for your other abilities, kind of like the other shit, where it's like you root them in place,
Yeah.
and then you throw out an Aether Remnant, or you like root them in place and throw out an arrow.
Yeah.
I think it's a really strong 2 to 4.
I
Unless you're
think
trying to
it's
go
in-
1 to 2.
I think it's in 1 to 2.
Really?
Yeah.
I don't think it's a 1 to 2.
6 seconds
It is really strong.
cooldown, max channel time is like You get like 4
Actually,
or 5 off in a fight.
I don't mind 1 to 2.
It's a stun, but is it better? Is it as good as the stuns we have in 1 to 2? What's the lowest rated stun we have in 1 to 2? Chaos Bolt.
I think it's
not even
comparable,
close to Chaos Bolt.
but it dispels yourself or allies.
There's that extra
Yeah.
utility
It's
on
like
allies.
But you also have to channel it. So in a
But
fight,
if you want the full damage, you don't have to. You just
No,
cast
it's just
it
for
immediately.
root. It's
Yeah,
just for the
yeah,
root
yeah.
duration is what you're channeling for.
There's
I-
a lot of lobbies where I would want to first pick it.
I like it above Dismember, for sure.
I think it's like there.
Even
personally.
above all those other ones there, yeah.
Like, especially if you can combo it with
I like it above Acorn.
some other stun that follows. It's good. Next up is Freezing Field. This is really Joel's wheelhouse again.
It's good. It has an eggs. That's really good. Allows you to move in it.
How often do you get a full channel off?
You're gonna get focused
Sometimes
down.
they just you either get a channel off. There's either 3 things happen. They die, you die, or they run away. Those are the 3 options.
Or they stun you.
Or you
yeah.
just get stunned.
Or you get stunned.
Or silenced.
Yeah. Which does happen occasionally, but a lot of times either like you use it, you kill the guy or 2 guys you were going on. They run away out of the AoE and you're sitting there like a potato.
You have to be kind of techie with how you use it,
Yeah,
because if you
positioning has
just
to be
use
good.
it like openly, you're gonna get focused and murdered.
Yeah.
Still a good alt though.
Definitely.
Still a high
Pair it with
damage.
Sakuchi or something weird.
Oh yeah, the egg Sakuchi, that
The
shit
eggs.
is Cracker Barrel if you
Yeah.
can get that. If you get Surge, yeah, like that type of stuff.
I think this one's going in, like, above Arena.
I
2
agree.
to 4 above
Closer
Arena.
to Chain Frost area.
I think it's like comparable. I think it's worse than Chain Frost.
It's a little worse, yeah, for sure. I'd put it... Do you like it above Riki Alt?
I think Refield's kind of overrated now.
Yeah, I like it above Riki
I like
Alt.
it about that.
Next up is Frost Arrows. This is my highest win rate ability right now, which is
Really?
funny. Yeah.
It's great in lane. You can really harass people. That extra damage and move slow.
Yup.
Eggs.
Eggs upgrade.
The eggs is nice. The hypothermia.
Yeah, that is crazy.
The thing with Frost Arrows is if you're on a melee hero, you don't want it.
No.
If you're on a ranged core, it's usually really good.
Yeah.
So
Has a great eggs.
I think if you get it first pick, you're probably doing something wrong. But if you get it second pick after you already have a passive that is good for your right click,
Then it gets
then
really
it gets
strong.
strong as fuck. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, I think it's probably generally picks 2 to 4, but pretty high.
I'd put it, yeah.
I put it pretty high.
Like near decay.
Better. Is it?
Is it better
really,
than Fervor? Yeah.
I think it's better than
Yeah.
Fervor. Yeah.
I like it. I like it above Decay.
Also helps you last hit, right? Like which
Yeah.
counts for something. So next up is Frost Blast. It's good on a Lich.
It's good on a Lich, yeah.
Dominates the lane.
It does.
Definitely
lane
helps
spell.
with the lane domination. Little
7
bit
second
AoE.
cooldown.
The attack slow is quite significant for 4 seconds and then 3-second downtime after the attack slow. Like
It's good.
you can't really trade if you get hit with Frost Blast. You have to run.
Yeah.
And then, the ability really falls off a cliff if you don't have the talents on Lich, and the damage is not super
Not
impressive.
much, yeah.
But I think it's like a 4th pick, 3rd pick.
Yeah, similar to like a dual breath.
Yeah, I think it's usually later than a dual breath though, or not picked at all. Like I think
Like more
it's-
like Arcane Curse.
Yeah,
Like pretty low in 2 to 4.
yeah, exactly. Like Fade Bolt, Arcane Curse, Crypt Swarm's probably better. Ether Shock's probably better.
Yep.
I like it
think it's-
down.
Yeah, like there.
Above Fade Bolt.
Above Fade Bolt, just because, why not?
The other
slightly
Frost ability.
Yeah, Frost Shield. Now this is probably one of Lich's best abilities.
Yeah, besides his alt, it's
Yeah.
definitely his best ability.
Because you throw this on your carry and 60% damage reduction goes crazy.
And
Yeah,
if you're on a
it's
Lich
so
with
strong.
the talent, 70%.
Oh yeah.
There's
So,
multiple talents.
There's like
on Lich.
multiple, there's like,
So good.
yeah, there's
50% regen at 25.
duration
4%
at 20.
duration at 20. And then at 10% reduced damage.
Yeah, I think if you get to the duration talent, you're laughing. Like, to be at the 4 seconds extra on top of, like, 8 seconds, that's basically like you're getting a whole nother level better than that, so.
I think it has to be one of our better defensive abilities. that we have in the
in
list.
2 to 4.
The slow is also relevant. Like we didn't mention that, but you can chase people
you can
down
be
in
slightly
lane.
aggressive
and-
as well.
Yeah, it's very good. Also, if you're a lich and you have rearm, which
Insane.
we've played against, it's actually 1v5 worthy, which is ridiculous.
Definitely.
Yeah,
It's definitely
you can't
better
die.
than aphotic shield.
Yeah, I
And
think
if-
it's
And so I think it's like up by Riki alt somewhat.
like there. Like, how much better is Chain Frost than Frost Shield? Significantly?
Pretty good amount.
One's
I like.
one's defensive, one's offensive.
Yeah, that's true.
I think I like it pretty high up in there. I like that.
I don't mind
I
that.
think people sleep on Frost Shield too. That's another thing. People don't really
Yeah.
understand how good
He gets
Frost
to Lich
Shield
all the
is.
time for like third, sometimes even
Oh,
fourth
yeah.
pick, and he's happy. You're
Oh,
happy
yeah.
to take it.
Yeah.
Totally. Next up is probably one of the best spells in the game. It's Frostbite.
The uptime on this, the damage, the duration, it's stupid.
The fact that you can walk into lane, cast it on someone, immediately walk away, cast it on them like 3 seconds later, and they can't
50%
attack.
uptime.
Like,
Yeah.
I don't know. You hit a certain point where Frostbite just, early at least, is like the worst thing for you to encounter.
It's really best early for sure. It's like our strongest laning spell we've went over so far almost.
It's like pretty comparable to Earthspike, but Earthspike's better.
Our
It's
spike's
definitely
better
first
overall
pick.
for sure,
Yeah.
but
It's definitely first pick. I
still
don't
in
think
the
it's
first pick
insta-pick.
category.
It could
Yeah.
be insta-picked if you're a support.
But it's definitely first picked and it's high up there.
Is it above the Blinks? I think
Well, it's
so.
got to get below the Earth spike.
Yeah, maybe right there actually.
Yeah, just
I'm
below Earth
happy.
spike.
Yeah. Because another thing is like, and this is rare, but you could throw it on creeps and farm, and like
100%.
there actually is some other utility. Like Earthspike doesn't really let you farm all that much.
No.
Yeah.
Our last ability we're going
Last
to go
ability, Yeah.
The final ability.
over. The final ability.
Fury
here.
swipe.
Fury swipes.
Really, really, really good.
Ending on maybe
A
the
high
best,
note.
maybe the best attack damage modifier.
Passive for
Passive.
probably.
Yeah.
Like this is to me in the instapick.
It is
category.
insta-pick.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's
Is it
insta-pick.
better than Bash?
No, I don't
If you're a
think so.
ranged hero,
No.
It's really close, actually.
It's really close.
Actually, I think it
I think it's better.
really
Personally.
depends.
Think about this. You walk up into lane, you're a ranged hero, and you're against someone who's melee. Can they come near the creep wave at all?
with Bash or Fury Swipes, probably no. But which one's more oppressive?
Which one is more
Well,
impressive? Fury Swipes.
Fury Swipes. It's like an essence shift on crack.
I don't
Yeah.
know.
Fury Swipes is.
It's hard to
You
say.
go do Roshan at level fucking 5. or
Roshan
whatever,
is a good
bullshit,
bonus.
8,
9
level
minutes
8.
into the game.
Yeah.
I'm fine with putting it above Bash, I guess.
All right, I'm happy with that.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, if you look at the win rate on Windrun, it's probably lower or comparable to Bash. I'm actually curious to know what's
The
higher.
win rate.
I mean, it's picked so often that the win rate's kind
That's
of
true. You're
down there.
deny picking it so frequently on some crappy ass hero model just to make sure that they're like Medusa doesn't get it or like whatever.
Yeah.
That it's probably a lot lower.
There's Fury Swipes there.
51.18.
Look at the average pick though, 2.52.
It is
That
one
is
of the most
so
highly contested abilities.
Yeah, that is so early. If you do highly contested, it's probably number 1. Oh, it's number 2.
Second.
Yeah.
And then Bash the
And then
Deep
Bash.
is
So
right
we
behind
got-
it.
we got it
with a
right.
slightly lower win rate.
Yeah.
Oh my god, yeah. So I guess we are
We are right.
technically correct on intuition, eh?
Yeah. I like
Alright.
that.
Well, that brings us to the end of part 2. of
Appreciate you guys
going over.
listening. You know, subscribe.
Like us. Yeah, go to our Steam profile and drop a hate comment on
Yeah,
Joel's.
drop a
'cause
hate
his
comment.
is public.
Yeah.
Yeah, drop toxic comments. That's what we like to see in the chat.
Yeah.
All right,
Top
well,
quality.
we'll see you guys at G starting.
Yeah,
next
starting
time.
with Geminate Attack next time.
Yeah.